sure that Unicorn's love are crumbling down, crumbling and falling apart. Fresh is left there with GK as well. Fresh in the clothesline, being contested from two angles. Doesn't really know where to shoot at first.
Let's just relax a little bit here, fellas. Let's just take our time. And now that's paying off. They got the numbers advantage. They got 4 up, and now they're slowly creeping and crawling in.
Buzzy trying to crawl to safety, but I feel like
now Rolk is heading in further forward. They heal back up.
What an ending, though. Congrats to, of course, Unicorns of Love right there. You talked about it. 2 points, right? They qualified to Super Weekend by only 2 points. And now coming into this game.
Now. Right now, moving in onto this zone, and you can see Ghost amongst the plethora of players coming in on that hard shift. Dan, we are going to be eating well tonight, Necro, because we are about to see a lot of these teams start to drop with that sudden big shift in phase 4.
Enough to take Pavilion down. S2G and Fenerbahce, the final 2 teams alive. Trades are happening back and forth. S2G seems like they're coming out of top.
Make sure to be locked and loaded, ready to take this engagement. Silas going to be pushing with the UMP. Go for that spray down, about 50% HP. But from behind, the explosion.
But before we get there, let's take a look at the standings. Once again, S2G, the point gap is widening. We haven't even mentioned the point gap, but let's take a look after that chicken. All right, they are 80 points. 80 entire points ahead of second place.
See them pumping the brakes just a little bit. They don't have the numbers to their advantage, but Frozen cooking a grenade. Yeah, looks like Alpha 7 already going to be down a member, so we kind of see them pumping the brakes just a little bit. They don't have the numbers to their advantage.
It was at this moment that Nathan knew he f***ed up.
Frozen cooking a grenade, tossing a grenade. Looks like it bounced off that little...
In the clotheslines. He does have his teammates though in the back lines. But what I'm wondering is they have clear line of sight on the forward position.
Oh God, please, no! No! No!
Oh, dude, what the hell?
And this is a highlight from that previous map. How
it's running right up. Much with that information instead of moving further forward. Now the problem is for a team like Rise is yes they can play well. I mean, production, please stop the savagery. I mean, Rise.
Ready for abstract.
PUBG Mobile fans around the world, welcome to the 2021 PUBG Mobile Global Championship. To the top teams across all regions, we have a message for you. The Middle East, you have proven your worth. Now, make your formidable debut on the PMGC stage. South Korea, forget the past. This year, show the world you've ascended. Remind the world of South Korea's raw talent. Japan, you came so close last year. But what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. Bring it back better than ever. The Americans, you're the alpha dogs that dominated the West. Now, lead the pack on the world stage. Southeast Asia, you took down so many strong teams on your journey to the top. It's time for a comeback on the global stage. Europe, it's now or never. Push your limits and surprise us all. This is the moment to create your legacy. South Asia, you were the dark horse of 2020. Amaze those who would underestimate you again. China, you carry the crown of last year's PMGC. Now, with everyone's eyes on you once more, can you secure back-to-back victories? PMGC needs a champion. The world needs a champion. Who will stand victorious in the end? Who will be next to glory?
I saw the first light, the first steps. Now I see much more. I capture Earth in all its beauty. I see action. I see drama. And I see it in the finest detail. Moments of inspiration and the first steps. I am the 1+9.
Hello, PUBG Mobile fans. It's almost time to bring together the world's top teams for the PUBG Mobile Global Championship 2021. This year's PMGC has a total prize pool of $6 million for teams and players, and tons of great rewards for our fans as well. PMGC will consist of 2 stages, League and Grand Finals. The League phase will last from November 30th to December 24th. During the League phase, teams from the Americas and Europe will compete in the West League, while teams from Asia and the Middle East will compete in the East League. Each league, 20 teams will compete on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for 16 slots to compete on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in that week's Super Weekend. The total Super Weekend scores over the first 3 weeks will determine which 16 teams will compete in the PMGC League Finals during the final week. The top 9 teams from the East League Finals, the top 6 teams from the West League Finals, and a special invited team will advance to the PMGC Grand Finals. The PMGC Grand Finals, which will take place on January 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, will determine the PMGC 2021 Global Champions. Who will be the next to glory? Don't miss a single minute of exciting PMGC action.
Hello, this is PUBG Mobile Global Championship 2021 West League. We're in the Super Weekend 2. We're officially on day 3. So today, that means we're on the last 5 matches before heading over into week 3. I'm your host, Span Cargo, and with me, our course, our amazing analysts, Zute and Glitter Explosion. And Zute, I'm just going to start off with you. It's the last 5 games today for the Super Weekend. How you feeling?
Yeah, it's the last 5 days. I'm feeling great. I just want to skip to the next Super Weekend already. These Super Weekend matches are something else. We see teams that struggled last week come back strong. We see teams that missed out on first week come in even stronger almost. And it's just the Super Weekend actions where it's at. And I'm glad to be here for the last 5 months.
Okay, yeah. Glitter, how are you feeling as well now coming into this with these teams?
I'm just loving how much everything is kind of evening out here. Okay, we saw coming into the Super Weekend, we had our eyes on S2G, whether or not they'd be able to maintain the massive lead that they had, but so many of those squads, like you're saying, Zute, that needed to do well this weekend, whether they had already played in the first Super Weekend or whether it's their first time here in general, they're all stepping up to the plate, showing why every single one of those teams deserves to be here, and it's making things that much more exciting.
And geez, let's go on ahead. Just for the new people who haven't quite seen this just yet, once again, all these teams have been playing in weekday matches, Tuesday and Wednesday, and the top 16 move on to the Super Weekend, where they go on ahead and play 5 matches per day. And this is the second Super Weekend. There's 3 Super Weekends overall, so this is the second to last one. There's one next weekend where the top 16 will move on to the league finals to get a chance at the $6 million total prize pool. So that's just a little bit of a rundown of where we're at right now. We're kind of we're officially past the halfway point. We're getting closer and closer to finals. And Zute, that kind of makes me want to just jump right on over to talking about the overall Super Weekend points and some of these teams that we can see here that are going to be competing today. Maybe we can start off with the teams that we're especially keeping an eye on, Besiktas and Baluch Chaptan, since they're the teams. This is their first Super Weekend.
This is their first Super Weekend, and they're playing against a lot of these teams that already have 2 Super Weekends under their belt, right? But looking at their points and looking at the pacing of, how they still got 5 games too, but already currently, I'm not going to say they're looking safe because they're in that bottom half of the 10, out of the 20 teams, but for just one Super Weekend span, they're actually doing really well and they're on track. The 2 teams you mentioned, like, shout outs to them coming in a whole entire 15 games behind, and they're putting in the work.
Yeah, Besiktas, I mean, Glitter, we were even just talking about it yesterday when we were watching the matches. Besiktas, they just seem to be somehow just making it into the end game every single time. Like, they definitely figure stuff out after the first weekend, the first week of this league. They now are really going on ahead and succeeding and already going on ahead and grabbing 110 points in 2 games. They're definitely on their track to be making it up into the top 16.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they did miss that first Super Weekend, but I think their ability to scout and make sure they had all information at their disposal has really benefited them. I mean, like you said, 2 days and 110 points so far. And we had kind of said that obviously Mad Bulls was going to be that threshold that we were looking at for both Baluch Chaptan and Besiktas to kind of hit points-wise, right? Because they were one of the teams that didn't make it through this time around to the Super Weekend. And right now, obviously, in 2 days, Besiktas has obviously blown that out of the water. They still have 5 more games that they get to continue to add points to that overall total. And while Baluch Chaptan had a very, very slow first day, they really picked it up yesterday on their second day with 3 games out of those 5 being top 3 finishes. So both of these teams really putting in the work, trying to at least ensure that they set themselves up well going into the 3rd and final Super Weekend, because if any of those teams that didn't make it through this time, that are at the bottom, make it through next time, then those are the ones they're really going to be going up against to try and ensure their spot in the top 16.
Yeah, I was going to say that as well, Zute. Like, these teams, even though they are doing really well in these overall rankings so far, making it into that top 16, they're also guaranteeing that they have to go on ahead and make it into this last Super Weekend, because as we know, we already said, we're kind of wondering if any team has ever qualified just being able to get into one Super Weekend. The answer is no. So even though they're doing well now, this next league play is also going to be pretty intense.
Yeah, it comes down to the next week for a lot of these teams. Not for the teams on the front page, though. I think the front page is pretty safe. You did see that huge difference between S2G's week 1 and week 2. But hey, they already let us know they're chilling. They're trying new things out. We'll let them be. We've seen what they can do, all right? So no hate on S2G whatsoever from me. But yeah, this second page, Glitter, take a look. 11th down all the way to 17th. Is a very close gap, and so there's 5 games left and there's 1 more week. So all of these teams towards the bottom, I would say these are the teams kind of contending for that top 16 potentially.
100%, and that's why I think you're so excited about that 3rd Super Weekend, because once we're done here today, the 3rd Super Weekend is going to be where everything really starts to kick off. As you guys can see in the background, we've got our comparison here between Futbolis and Navi, obviously our top 2 teams right now for this Super Weekend specifically. I mean, just phenomenal performances out of both these teams. Navi came out of the gate super hot even on the first day of the Super Weekend, but then both of them with the 2 chicken dinners yesterday, I mean, they've continued to improve throughout this entire weekend, and they're kind of scary right now, Zoo.
Oh, they're looking really strong. And both teams struggled in that first Super Weekend as well, right? Coming second Super Weekend, they have ramped it up. And I gotta say, it's the experience. Footballist is a PMGC qualified team before. Same with Na'Vi. So when these big dogs, these big names, you see them struggle and you're like, what is going on? What is happening? Well, they've been through this before, and that experience lets them, you know, go do the VOD reviews, have that teamwork, have that sit down. They have all the things and tools in place to bring it back around, and that is exactly what they did. So I love seeing it out of those two teams.
Wow, yeah, I love that you actually mentioned their points from Super Weekend 1 and 2, because you're right, Footballist was 70, Na'Vi was 74. Now they have Footballist has 134 and Na'Vi with 111 for the Super Weekend, definitely stepping it up. A complete opposite, I'd like to point out, is, you already said, S2G with the 44 points for this Super Weekend and the 211 for last Super Weekend. That is drastic.
Yeah, I touched on it already. I'm giving a pass. Like, we saw, like, one day, I asked them, like, all right, you could do well when you get the zone. We don't see you much on camera. Like, what do you guys really got? And then, like, back-to-back games, they were scrapping through. They were third-partying. It's like they almost hurt us, and they're like, yo, we could do everything, Zoo. So I'm giving them that pass. They could do whatever they want today. I don't care. They're good in my books. I don't know about you, Glitter, but that's how I feel.
Okay, listen. I mean, Seven and I talked about this on the first day of the Super Weekend as well. We were kind of guessing that that's what they were doing because they had such a good cushion. It's the perfect opportunity to try out a few new things. It won't hurt them in the long run because they have really set themselves up well. But I mean, Span, you're talking about point fall-offs, and while S2G is obviously up there as one of those people we're keeping our eyes on, like, I do agree with you, I'm giving them a little bit of a pass, but the next team that I did notice that had a massive point fall-off that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on a lot today, I think, as we close the Super Weekend out, is actually Unicorns of Love. They had they're struggling this Super Weekend in comparison to last Super Weekend big time. So they're another one that I want to see if they can maybe pick it up here in the last day.
You know, I feel like Fenerbahce is right on up with them as well, if I'm not going to lie, because they both have around, like, we'll just say around the 60-70 points mark for this Super Weekend right now. Last Super Weekend, they were right next to each other with 161 for Unicorns of Love, 152 for Fenerbahce. It's, oh man, we're kind of wondering where those two teams kind of went on ahead and went. They clearly need to go on ahead and check out what phone they have and make sure that it is, in fact, the OnePlus 9 or 9 Pro to climb that leaderboard, because with flagship performance and an immersive 120Hz display and HyperTouch technology made specifically for gamers, the OnePlus 9 and 9 Pro are your best shot to go on ahead and climb that leaderboard. Had to go on ahead and put that in there. But also, it's finally the time, right? We already talked about all these teams. We're about to be going into the first match of the last day of the Super Weekend. Let's just start off strong, and just Zute, what's your prediction for this first game?
Okay, well, if you weren't here yesterday, it's going to be a repeat of all of yesterday, except thankfully they kicked Seven off the show because, you know, he kept interfering with my mojo, my predictions. So I'm going A7 again all the way today, guys.
Okay.
And if they still don't get a win, maybe I'm the bad juju and I will just stop cheering for my favorite team.
Okay, yeah, we did say it was probably Seven that was kind of canceling out the luck, so we'll see. Maybe it wasn't him, maybe it was you. But okay, let's go on ahead and move on to Glitter. Glitter, who do you think is going to go and take this first match on Erangel?
Well, listen, I talked about them before the Super Weekend even started with that quote on social media saying they were one of my teams to watch because I thought they were really going to be able to pick it up this Super Weekend based off of their league play performance. I'm looking at football as this first game, okay? They won the first Erangel yesterday. They did well on the first Erangel the first time around, and they have been an unstoppable force so far this entire weekend. So I'm really hoping that they continue to do so.
Also a really strong pick, you're right. They're just absolutely blasting through this Super Weekend. So we'll see if they'll be able to continue that in the first match. Now for me, I kind of went on ahead and chose a team that has been doing really consistent. 129 points for the first week Super Weekend, 104 right now for the second Super Weekend. That is just screams consistency. A big build up to. I'm choosing the Knights once again. I chose the Knights the first match yesterday. I'm just gonna go on ahead and throw it out there for this one as well, because I mean, we've seen them do it before. So luckily we each chose a different team. So it's gonna be curious to see who's gonna kind of go up towards the top, because I feel like all three of these options really do have a strong chance of getting this first chicken dinner.
I also think we have a higher chance if we all start picking different teams to get a prediction correct, because yesterday we were 0 for 15 guesses. Quite astonishing, I would have to say. But we got Glitter here, right? We got Glitter Damas. If anything, she's going to get 5 out of 5.
Oh, God, imagine.
Straight. She'll carry this analyst desk.
Yeah, we'll just blame 7 then. You know, we have to at least get a couple. At this point, it's not individual competition. It's just the casters versus the players or something at this point.
It's a team effort.
Yeah, if one of us gets it right, then we all succeed. So we'll hope. Yeah, we got this. We chose 3 really strong teams. Me and Zute, not surprised to keep going with Alpha 7. But I guess, is there anything else that we need to go ahead and keep an eye on when we're jumping into this Erangel? Because I do think that there were some interesting interactions that ended up happening yesterday. I don't know, Zute, if you just want to take it from there and talk about it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, since we just talked about predictions, right, and I went with Alpha 7, we noticed Na'Vi really pop off yesterday. They got 2 chickens. So if Na'Vi's starting to pop off, that could actually hinder Alpha 7's ability to meet my demands of a chicken dinner, which I still believe in Alpha 7. I think they could take down Na'Vi. Na'Vi got a little bit lucky with zones. Maybe. I don't know. Hot controversial topic right there. I'll just stop now. Glitter, go ahead. You could talk about what you expect coming up in the next few games.
You know I picked Footballist, and I'm standing by that pick, but in a very, very close second was Besiktas. Okay, that's another team that has just kind of come out of nowhere this entire Super Weekend, and they have just been so consistent. Like you said earlier, Span, one of the things they've done a very good job on focusing is their placement points, making sure that they're at least making it mid to late game to get a couple points on the board. I mean, the entire Super Weekend, they've only had 1 double-digit placement. Everything else has been bare minimum, 9th or higher. So that is a level of consistency that is super impressive, and they have done well on Erangel time and time again over the last 2 days as well. So I mean, there's a very real possibility. I know we said it's increasing our chances if we all pick different squads, but watch it end up being like Besiktas just comes out of nowhere and then just starts off the day real hot.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do that, because they have been kind of making it into those end games, really consistency lately. So I guess the next step is going on ahead and getting that chicken dinner. And another team that, again, we've already brought up, but something that ended up happening yesterday, and especially in the last 2 games, I think, is Blue Chopton. They actually started being able to survive longer into that late game. So Blue Chopton, I feel like, could arguably as well start picking up that momentum and maybe figuring out exactly what they need to be doing, just like the Besiktas did.
I agree with that. And the 2 teams we want to watch out for is, the biggest team I would say is Baluk. They're currently, overall wise, the lowest point team that is playing. So they have the biggest pressure on them to secure those points. But Besiktas on the other end, this is their first Super Weekend as well, but we mentioned it. They're in 3rd place overall. They're looking strong. So a lot of pressure is on Baluk for today's matches to see where they end off, because the teams that are below them that are sitting out, they're going to be looking at them as like the target point as to, do we need to pass them or maybe even drop on them in the regular league week. So we'll see what happens after, 5 matches are done, but there's going to be a lot of potential targeting next week for the league.
That's true. These are the last 5 matches to go on ahead and start really padding their points to make sure that even if they don't make it into this last Super Weekend, that hopefully they'll have a chance onto holding on to that top 16 place. So we'll go on ahead and jump right on into our first Erangel match. Who's going to go on ahead and get this first chicken dinner? Highland Wolf and Necro.
I'm convinced, Span. Knights, it was an excellent decision. I'm along board with you because honestly, Necro, I've been looking at Knights and they seem like probably Erangel is one of their best maps out of all 3 so far. I mean, Sanhok, it's not looking so hot for them, but when we go back over towards those green hills, I'm feeling convinced for them. And I'm convinced actually they can come out with some results because you see them on those standings. Knights, I just want to start off and say that they are rising. 3rd position overall in the standings, only now 22 points from actually taking that top spot. Taking the top out of all 20 is possible for them.
Yeah, definitely. The top 3 is looking really close. But yeah, I gotta go with Glitter on this one, man. I feel like it's gonna be Footballists again, just starting the day off on a good note. Because yesterday, the way Footballists are playing, or overall, I would say this weekend has been a Footballist weekend. And it's really hard to take this weekend away from Footballists. On the other hand, though, Na'Vi as well had quite a great ending yesterday.
Yeah, I think that actually Footballist is a great shout, considering obviously they've had a fantastical weekend here. Obviously, 3rd
first in overall standing points for the 2 days we've had in the second Super Weekend. They currently sat at 133 points. Of course, Na'Vi just slightly behind them. But I have to mention as well, I think some of the real underdogs has been, and the biggest surprise for me, has been Besiktas here inside of this second Super Weekend. Amazing first impression on that second Super Weekend with that Steelers chicken dinner, and they've not let up in that gas from there. They've been continuing. I mean, to get already right in that 15th position from having no points now to surpassing teams who'd already played 15 games, and you're still to play another 5, they got a lot of potential for them.
Yeah, they definitely have got a lot of potential. But talking about potential over here, Aton charging on forward against Supermassive Blades. They don't have anything to defend themselves with. They just dropped in, but Asta was the lucky one who found his hands, or at least he got his hands on the UMP. But look at this, Coursera is right inside the bush. He's one with the Nature, and I'm pretty sure no one from the side of Aton are going to be getting their hands on Coursera because he's just so well hidden. He's like a snake, man.
Oh, he is a snake. He has become one with the bush. Supermassive Blaze, I think they'll be able to survive right now. Aton. They are finding him. They're looking for him. Kef, I don't think he's one with a tree, though. He will fall down. Nature is not his friend. Kef, you will lose your life to shotgun and blast you out of the first match. And Coursera, though, meanwhile, he's still happy. He's still hiding. But I don't think Aton have noticed him. He will get away with his life.
What just happened with Supermassive Blaze? This is so questionable. Like, you do not expect these kind of mistakes from a team like Supermassive Blaze. I mean, they have a great name overall. They have a great reputation, and making these kind of mistakes is quite questionable. On the other hand, Unicorns of Love now charging against Furious Gaming. Trigger found himself in the crosshair, and well, he will be executed instantly. That double barrel shotgun just get kind of deadly sometimes, and well, there goes the execution completed. Now Lin will probably try and get the rest back up on the fallen man. GK first. And Unicorns of Love as well, having quite a great showing, at least up till now. Got themselves a point. Going to be feeling quite great. And as I mentioned, Footballist is one of the teams that I'm really going out for inside this game because just the way they've been playing, man. If you talk about step-ups from weekend 1 and weekend 2, Footballist is like a prime example of that.
Yeah, I think also on the opposite spectrum, right, you're looking now at those fallen warriors of Unicorns of Love, S2G as well. I mean, S2G, quite frankly, an abysmal first 2 days, only 44 points in comparison to what did they have? Almost 200 after 10 matches in that first Super Weekend. They barely climbed from that situation and their phenomenal result on the first week. And I think you can't take that away from them and how well they played. But this is not the S2G that we expected to see coming into here. And it's not the S2G I think we saw either coming in on some of those matches on the league stage days on Tuesday and Wednesday earlier as well. And I'm hoping S2G and Unicorns of Love, they can step up because you can see Unicorns of Love already down to 4th position. S2G barely holding on by single-digit points onto that first position lead. Now is the best time, if ever, if they want to maintain that high result because the rest of these teams, like A7, they're coming up very close behind them.
I mean, yeah, exactly. We were also having to talk about how S2G, or at least Dave was mentioning that how S2G wants to try new things, but I'm going to hold on to my words for now because Na'Vi, and look at this is complete humiliation. A7, oh no, Carrier being taken down, and well, he's going to be panned to death. Jakes, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, he's becoming a chicken omelet. That's what he's doing. He's got the pan in hand. He's got some eggs probably for his head to splash him on, and of course, he's on his way to that chicken dinner. Na'Vi, he's going to slap him down. That 1 kill for themselves. Feels bad, man, for A7 coming into that 3rd day. They're going to be falling behind a little bit, but not as much. So I think next Royer, they're trying to do this plan again, right? Take control of this island position. Big Ghost, oh, he's rotating so quickly in on this first phase by that 6-minute mark. And they meet here once more, but next Royer, they do escape for now, but they are looking. They're looking to hunt behind the Ghost, and they're chasing him down. I think they might have found him, unstrapped him from the car.
This is such a questionable start to a day, right? I mean, we did not expect all these teams just going against each other, actually chasing each other down inside the first game of day 3 of Super Weekend 2, right? It's just already we're seeing all the teams just getting bloodthirsty. They want to rack up those kill points. They want to rack up those points. And overall, they just want to make a statement on top of the leaderboards. But again, it's not going to be that easy. And even the analyst desk mentioned, Week 3 is going to be one of the most toughest week to at least gather up any kind of points because there can be potentially a lot of targeting going on in the Week 3.
Yes, this is what we talked about, right? These teams needing to get onto these points, and I've come up with a perfect strategy here. Here, Necro, it's all about inting this last day. It's about getting just enough points to keep yourself in, but it's about not looking too strong so that we don't get targeted in that first day coming in on that week 3. That's the strategy, okay? I'm telling you. That's what these teams got to do. They can't be too overeager when they're getting those chicken dinners, my friend. They've got to be a little bit into that second, third position so they don't look so good, you know?
I do completely understand, but yeah, getting to the point about S2G, right? And S2G said, at least what Dave said, S2G was trying to say is that they're trying new things at the same time trying to maintain that top position. Now, trying new things and maintaining that top position, I feel like that's so tough because still you're trying to adjust what you're trying to do with the teammates. At the same time, you have 4 people working under you as an IGL, so you got to make sure even the teammates are feeling comfortable with the call-outs that you're making. So that's kind of like a huge responsibility. At the same time, maintaining that position on the top, it is definitely going to be tough, and you can clearly see that affecting on the overall rankings of S2G.
Yeah, tough first game as well. Keep in mind something we have to, of course, talk about is that first base zone here, Negro, and it's gone over towards the eastern side, so an uncomplimenting plane path to zone differential here for the first game, and that means, of course, what we saw already with so many of these teams looking to come forward, chase each other down to get inside of the zone, and Yasna Pollyanna going to be probably the most hotly contested location in around that center, but I actually really appreciate what some of these teams are doing. And it's not in the front lines, but it's in the back of our minds. Is A7 rotating back behind Stalber? A very smart decision. I would expect Na'Vi to do the same in this situation because first base, it's still there inside around the back of Stalber Hill, and it's very crucial to actually avoiding all of that congestion as being a later rotator team to actually getting caught out if you do just go straight across that bridge. Instead, by rotating around, you can avoid all of that action. You can still potentially catch yourself for a good win if it does head over to Stalber or towards that more eastern side.
Yeah, I would actually love if the circle shifts up Stalber. That would be one of the biggest things. And yes, there we go. We might just see a Stalber Hill circle. Not really hill, but kind of like right underneath it. A7, as you mentioned, had quite a safe rotation inside the zone as well. And now they're going to be finding themselves inside Kamishki, where they can also try and loot a little bit more just to kind of topple their loot off. And with Carrillo not really in the game, they're definitely not looking that confident as well, because the rotation in itself, it did seem like A7, they don't want no smoke. Instead, they're going to be playing for kind of like that safe game. On the other hand, we also do see Na'Vi as well, kind of following the same footsteps of A7. And again, we might just see Na'Vi and A7 clash because that's what they've always been doing. You know, the way they think, the way the mentality work between these two teams is just so similar. Football is right next to Besiktas. Besiktas as well yesterday had quite a hell of a day. Maybe today they're able to replicate it.
Footballists are driving in amongst so many of these squads, but my question is anyone going to go up towards that Stalber Hill? Because yes, it's high ground, and yes, it's information, but Stalber Hill, notoriously tricky for all of those dips in around it. Climb up to the top of that hill that players can seclude themselves in and surprise other teams coming forward. And I think that it could be potentially here Football is starting to be that first team to take that risk. Again, the information payoff versus potentially getting caught out later on. But right now, it's going to be a lot safer in that more southern side. Of course, Supermassive Blaze walking into the kill, unfortunately, is yet we'll find out the one of Supermassive Blaze, another will fall, and Kusera left on their own. And amongst, as we said, that congestion of players coming out of Yasna Pollyanna, rotating up towards that side of Kameshki from the Beryl Hills, and that's where you probably expect along the edge of the eastern side of Stalber. Along this hillside, teams are going to really prioritize. There's a slight dip in flatness on that hill where actually you can get good cover with the trees coming forward to ensure on that roadside. Plus, also you've got a high ground, and it's going to be so important for a team like Besiktas to take control of that in around heading further forward to a lot of those teams in behind them.
High ground definitely matters quite a lot in these final zones, right? And Na'Vi, if they're able to get that high ground in the final zone as well, there's a huge chance that they might just be able to win this game because, of course, we did see that rotation coming in from their side. But now we do see kind of Na'Vi making their mark on Stalber Hill. They're also going to be having that high ground right over A7. If A7 are oblivious about Na'Vi's position, then maybe Na'Vi will able to, again, kind of try and make sure that A7 is feeling that pain of those bullets. But on the other hand, as we talk about Supermassive Blaze, didn't really have that great of a start inside the game 1 in the final day of Super Weekend. I don't really know how things are going to be looking like in the future lines because, of course, we talk about that mental game coming inside. And if you're not really going to be having that mental game strong in the first game, it's quite questionable that how good games you're going to be having in the future.
Yeah, I think that one of these teams, right, Fenerbahce should I say here, also going to be jumping in on that more very wide eastern coastline that I'm really looking towards because their position really interesting coming out of Lipovka. And I'm intrigued to see, will that zone shift towards them? It does shift to phase number 3 because a team like Na'Vi, right, they're playing more of that safer, we're last into the zone, we got to go up towards Stalber Hill where no one else really wants to go because it's the only place we've got. But now how do they potentially fare heading further forward? They've got a nice split. The game, the information could be theirs, but they will be thanking their stars for now because that zone, it did shift back towards them. So Na'Vi, they've got some respite, but they do have to get in towards that Yasnaya Polyana compound. I think heading around that lakeside, a little bit more dangerous, to be said, coming further forward. And I think Na'Vi, again, because of how late they were, they're going to have to still maintain that further back position. But for a team like Fenerbahce, who were playing so well and getting that very early rotation towards the coastal line, anticipating that potential shift, the luck doesn't draw for them. And they're going to have to make that very difficult rotation again, cross those flats, cross those hills that we talked about, heading through Stalber and into the rest of the fields, north of Yasnaya Polyana from there.
Oh man, we already do see the kill feed dancing as well. Did see one man from Ghost falling down. And that's quite a huge knockout of the game. Bullock Chuptan going against Ghost. Spec down quite low, is going to be able to patch himself up, but Footballist from the back is putting up more pressure on Ghost. Ghost being completely sandwiched between two teams. It seems like the chances of winning as well inside this game are quite fading away. On the other hand, that's a great nade from Nunes onto the player of Black Dragons. Golden gets taken out. And now Nunes, he does want to get the res back up on the fallen man, but is that going to be possible? That's the question. Molotov inbound. Not really able to find the confirmation up till now, but Nunes still going for that raise. The man is quite brave.
Still on the rooftop. That slight edge of the roof itself. Gonna save him for now. Gary gonna find a brilliant smoke on top. Potentially nade out a window as well. They're trying to stop them from entering further forward. A second nade will land, and that might just grab GC God. Yes, it will, and that will land. There it goes. And now it's for Squeeze and Golden. Can they find a 3 versus 2 advantage? The Molly defensively used to stop Gary, but Mufasa's, they're on the high ground, and they'll take a second for Squeezing is down, and Golden, the only one left, and Aiden to finish him off, and there they drop. As it will be the last bullet in the head. Nunes will find it, and Black Dragon is out in 16th position.
Oh, Black Dragon's taken out quite early, not that great. Gotta say, Supermassive Blaze, the way they started the day off, it seemed like they could have been the one to get eliminated early off, but no, that's not the case. Black Dragon's able to get at least, 16th place, and then Supermassive Blaze on 15th. Oh no, not really a great start for both these teams. There was a final man alive of Supermassive Blaze, but finally he gets taken care of, and now Ghost is the only team that is left with only that one last man alive. On the other hand, Rise now looking to challenge a fight against Nextruya. This team, man, gotta talk about the aggression this team always shows in these fights, in these moments. There's just never shy away.
But Rise are positioned despite the fact that they're fighting. I'm sorry to be a negative Nancy, but they're still got to get across that roadside. They're still got to get into Yasnaya Polyana because that zone actually has shifted away from them and it's gone up towards Nari, who I think have been blessed with this zone considering how far they were from it and how little chance they had. Is it is going to go towards the Stalber Hills, and we talked about it just earlier, about those small little crevices in amongst the hillside of Stalber. That's where these teams are looking to take up. Footballers, of course, taking one of them inside the small buildings, heading up towards the summit. A7 on the other. Navi Tixie just below, but inside, of course, Yasnaya Polyana. Aton, who tried to rotate further forward into the zone, gets caught out by S2G.
Oh, he does get caught out by S2G, and now Anton, they need to play this situation a little bit more safe. The position they've got themselves isn't really that great. And to make a lot of things happen from that position, it's going to be quite tough task. Scoops, though, from the side of Knights, able to put 2 players down to sleep from Rise. And Rise on a really brave rotation. They're not really able to withstand the damage. They're not really able to take those bullets that all these teams are putting upon them. And while a heavy amount of damage being inflicted on the Rise, they're not able to withstand that damage. And finally, the final man falls down. Gary taken out of the game. Rise getting eliminated on 14th place with 4 limp points. Still not that bad of an outing, though. On the other hand, Furious Gaming now going against Unicorn's Love. Unicorn's Love, 1 man short inside this fight. And are not really going to be looking great. Next, Rhea charging against Ghost. The final man gets taken care of.
Next four are going to clean it up, but can they survive? Of course, Benabachi. But it's still above them, and they'll look down a burst of vehicles away. And I think this is a problem, right, we're seeing with this zone as well, is that you can't rotate down around that lake south of Yasna Polyana, because in the way to which the zone is gone, it is actually bottlenecking all of these teams coming out of Yasna Polyana into that open expanse, restricting them on the south side. And if this zone continues to shift up further north, it's going to be dire for so many of these teams who have been forced to stay here and wait, otherwise die, like you've seen likes of Rise try to do, unsuccessfully, because you can't also rotate north, right? You've got the rest of Fenerbahce, you have that problem of next Royer, they can't make those flank rotations, and this is what we said, a lot of these teams are going to be funneled into the side of Na'Vi. It'll be interesting to see if they can pick up those kills. People is also looking at the same. Fenerbahce in a little bit of world of trouble.
Oh, that MK14. Oh, it didn't really come into work, but still, that signature M416 going to be making it work. Nox being found. And now, Fenerbahce, it's next to impossible to try and get the res back up on the fallen man. Nox, they will have to give up on him. Even Falcon's just going to be falling back in that situation. Kelsey, though, look at this. Just trying to inflict some damage on the Knights, but not really finding any success in that moment. Next, Ruya as well. Quite a bold rotation, but this time they are going to be caught off guard. Yikta gets taken out. Alucard is looking to confirm the kill, and Dor still left alive from that team. The final hope. All the eyes are going to be tucked up on him. And now, Adton, they do realize Knights is right in the front. Maybe they can try and sneak in a couple of bullets, but from the other side, it's S2G taking out Xenox.
Yeah, S2G and Aton, they've got, of course, the more powerful positions. S2G in the buildings themselves.
Oh!
Polyana, Aton and back. That'll be a knock through onto Alucard as they'll strike further back, and Knights won't have to snipe. We'll still take out Doka Machine anyways, as the zone, of course, is beginning to close in. We feared for this. A northern shift has gone that way.
Oh.
Still, it's going to take itself away from Yasna Polyana, and it's going to be so much of a nightmare situation for all of these squads now rotating their way out to Yasna Polyana, because where do you go? Where do you go in a situation like this? Well, you've got a mountain. That's for one, but you're a 7 team. How do you get there? I mean, we've seen next week, we've seen Rise, as we said, try this exact strategy. You can't do this. So now it's about potentially, do you try to save one member back further into that zone and have them heal up? Because that's potentially the only option these teams have.
Oh, the circle shifting out in the open is just going to be adding a little bit more pressure on the teams. Alucard being knocked out. Coops is there to try and help the man. But Duke and Machine is just making things even more tougher. Just raining down bullets, just tapping away. Found a couple of shots and was able to connect them. And finally, Smoke is there on the board just to deny any kind of visual info. But on the other hand, Unicorns Love and Na'Vi, it seems like they're going to be clashing anytime soon. Aton getting charged up on by S2G, but the nade from the side of Aton is going to be taking one man down from the side of S2G. The return fire is there. The return nading is there from the side of H2G, but still 7 being taken out. Silas Pugh is the only man in the clotheslines.
Still, Aton, that crucial telecommunications tower, it keeps him in line and it keeps him safe. S2G, they've managed to push through, of course, that line from Yasna Polyana. They're trying to slowly navigate their way in. Fast did not work, and Knight still overtake them. Knights are done with this fight. They'll go up. Alucard makes his run in. Is it third time lucky for them? They might be able to get away because, of course, the nades constantly, for the pressure from S2G, it stops them taking him out.
Oh man, here we go though. H2G, they're on a hunt. They're looking for the blood. They do know Aton are quite weak, and this is their time to strike. If they don't, they might just be taken out one by one. And Kelsey looking to find the final man, but still Aton is just playing as safe as possible. But he's not going to be able to play safe for long. Final man being found, Aton out the game. And now Unicorns of Love and Na'Vi fight still continues. Kitsune out in the open gets knocked off. The only cover that he has is those smokes. Still, anytime the kill should be confirmed out of Kitsune, but Na'Vi trying their best, making sure that Kitsune doesn't really get out the game this early. They do want Kitsune to stay alive as long as possible. Football is an A7. This fight is going to be worth watching.
A7. They might just have Footballist number. Of course, they've got a zone behind them. Footballist needs step over at dip. on Stalberhill, but how do they get over? Of course, A7, they pinned them down. It's all down to the likes of Na'Vi. Can they rescue him as a third party behind A7? Well, A7 also have a little bit of a hiding hole themselves, and Unicorns of Love, they will also fall to Na'Vi. Speaking of, as A7, they push up further forward. Revo on the front.
Oh man, A7 still kind of trying to distract their eyes onto other teams. They do realize there are a few more easy targets in the front. Coops, oh, he's taking a lot of shots on the back, but still is able to make it alive somehow, and finally finds a piece, safe piece cover. Oh, finds a little bit of cover for himself. Coops able to go back in the nick of time. One more bullet and Coops was out the game. He took 2 Kar98 bullets right onto himself. Quite lucky to withstand those, but yeah, now Besiktas, they do realize Coops in the front lines. This might just be an easy frag, and they're trying to capitalize on top of it. Sun HP's in the close lines again. There is a huge spread between these two teams, but guess what? The nade from A7, it seems like we're able to put down 2 players of Footballists. Wrong trying to get one man back up, but still there is one more man who's taken down.
Nice. Coop's got to fall to Na'Vi. They're not quite done yet in the back line. We've not seen them all game. We're still finding the kills. 6 in total now, but I think that might be all they grab because Nice Alucard, he wants to revenge. Is served hot with a dash of Besiktas on the side as they'll confirm another knock, and Tixie is going in, but he might just drop himself. Alucard, the smoke failed on the northern side to protect him from Fenerbahce as Besiktas do move forward. Help with Alucard, will confirm away every single one of those Na'Vi members, and Besiktas, they actually steal the zone. There's no one behind them, and all of that odd cover here and there, it protects them from those teams like S2G, like Nice, like Fenerbahce. Besiktas is a brilliant position here to actually steal away this game with 4 players remaining. It's S2G, they'll fall too.
Besiktas definitely showing quite a great gameplay inside the Super Weekend too. Gotta say, they have stepped up quite big. A7, oh, they did find one knock, but from the back, it's Footballists knocking the doors. And Footballist able to take one down, but still the man advantage not favoring Footballist. A7 Revo there, trying his best to hold on to the position. But yeah, as you mentioned, Besiktas definitely do have great positioning, and possibly even they can try and win this one. But Footballist now, oh, this is not good. Revo easily able to take care of 2. Footballist, they're crumbling down, even though this fight was in their favor.
And he might just 1v4 him right here. Revo, there's only one alive in Realm. He's got to keep his entire squad healthy, but how do you do that when you can't even see the enemy popping you down behind the smoke? It's Fenerbahce. They're also in the fight, keep in mind. Alucard is still there, still waiting as Nice desperately hold on. In 5th position, a solo also for A7. Revo, he'll find another knock. That'll be a 4th in total. And Lover's in. He's the only one remaining, but now the zone pressure's up behind, and Revo, he has to look for the kills.
Oh, Revo is sweeping up the ground. He's collecting those kills. Solk able to sneak inside the smoke, and he might just be able to get back up on the feet. Solk was able to sneak in. Yep, Low is in now, going for that rest. But again, so far this game has just been all over the place. We don't really know what exactly is going on. Alucard right in the smack center of the zone. He was being the center of attraction, but still he's able to make it out alive from that situation. I don't really know how. But yeah, on the other hand, Besiktas now locking their eyes against Fenerbahce. That's their next target, and they're looking to take him down. They're looking to exterminate him, but how are they going to be doing so? Fenerbahce, they're just lying prone in the grounds. They have those vehicles to work with. But again,
don't got a zone.
For how long?
Right, they've not got a zone here, Necro. We're going to lose another, and Besiktas, they edged their way in with S2G not there to stop them, of course. A clean sail with the smoke line in on towards the center. Besiktas, they will survive for now. Fenerbahce in amongst the top side.
Oh. And here we go, Rebellion being found, and the second man as well falls down right next to it. It's the chain effect. And now Alucard still alive from the side of Knights. Oh, this is looking quite good. But no, as I say that, I just cast a curse him. He gets spotted. So okay, using this buggy to perfection just to gain as much as visual info as possible. And now Besiktas is a 3-on-2 situation. You can't really underestimate Footballists like that. You gotta watch out, Enjoy. Oh, it just rams his vehicle into his buggy. And now he's quite close. And look at this, Besiktas, Enjoy 7. Still there, trying to take that man down. And well, guess what? It seems like somehow, within a blink of an eye, Footballists are taken care of. Besiktas are the one to win that previous game.
Yeah, Besiktas are the one to steal the show away, and I think this was a dominant showing through from Besiktas here, Necro, to be fair, considering they went from that zone, coming further forward in the back of Jasna Poliana. What we had to do is actually sneak their way in past S2G. As soon as S2G fell, it was a solid performance from them. It was back closing out that game well, and well, they did. And I think that Besiktas, they're rising so much when it comes to these standings. And it's a stark comparison compared to what we saw on that first week. I mean, Besiktas, they didn't look like a solid team at all coming into that first week compared to the Besiktas we know now. They feel like they're almost an XS2G in some of these games.
Man, I gotta tell you, man, I just feel like some of these teams, they do this on purpose, right? In the week 1, they just try to hide their strategies. They do not really perform up to the mark, and then it's like, all right, it's week 2, baby. It's game time, and they just put their gamer goggles on, and they're like, all right, baby, it's time to dominate. And then it's just like all these teams just steamrolling through the entire lobby. But yeah, overall, Aton, Supermassive Blaze Squad, an unfortunate starting for them. I don't really know how they got in that position in the first place.
Yeah, and unfortunate, of course, here. The teams that I think got caught out, it wasn't just only Supermassive Blaze, right? It was Ghost as well, getting caught out by Knights on the rest of the Jasna Poliana. It was a few drops here and there as well, as I think Rise struggling, getting caught behind the zone, and coming into that zone, another big shift. And this is what did it, I think. This long extended fight versus Black Dragons. And then they had to move forward. Yes, he took out one of Aston, but where do they go from there, right? Because Rise, they had to make that big push, and it was something a lot of these teams tried to do, but it's so impossible to do when you've got the south side, you've got the north side, you've got the east, the west, you've got 360 degrees of players looking down upon you. Where do you even settle? Because the moment you stop driving, you die.
Yeah, exactly. As you mentioned, the moment you stop driving, you die. But still, we saw a lot of teams, you know, try to make those bold rotations, try to make those risky rotations. They weren't stopping driving, man, but still, the amount of damage just was like each and every single part of the map in the final zone was covered by any other team. It was like one of the other team had their eyes on that part of the map, and it's like even if you're able to escape past through one team's eyes, you're probably going to be getting caught into another team. So that was usually what was happening. Making those rotations in the final moments of the zone wasn't really panning out for a lot of teams. But gotta give props to Alucard. Even though at this moment, as you can see in the radar as well, he was right in the smack center of a lot of teams, and he was also the center of attraction. But still, he was able to stay alive for so long. I don't know how.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot there from Alucard as well, keeping the kills up on board as Na'Vi, they dropped down, and I think Footballist, yes, he had the players, it could have potentially, in a world where Revo didn't annihilate them all from the face of the earth, maybe put some pressure on Besiktas, but it was this Revo MVP player from A7 that really stopped him in the tracks of Footballist taking the escape, gave all it away for Besiktas, in the sense that all they had to do was, of course, finish these final broken members of Footballist up.
Exactly, man. Footballists, I thought maybe they're going to be able to win this one, but still, things look quite risky for them.
Yeah, they do look quite risky indeed, but looking risky indeed, I suppose. Analyst predictions, man. 0 for 3 so far. What are we going to be able to do, guys?
Oh man, Wolf just had to grind it in there a little bit. But we will say, Glitter did say, watch, we made these predictions and it's gonna be Besiktas that goes on ahead and takes it, which Glitter, you said that and I was like, I agree, because they're getting up towards the top. Like, no way, they have to get a chicken at some point. They did it in the first match.
I mean, with 9 elims to boot, okay, this was a huge chicken for them. Great way to start off the day, and my gut was telling me that this was the possibility, but to be fair, Football is their second place, and the plays give a little bit of credit to A7 here. Zute Revo almost completely destroyed Football's chance at that second place finish.
It was almost a 1v4 until Alucard, you know, in his little bush, the MVP, of course. Yeah, Alucard crushed my dreams right there. I mean, I don't think Revo was going to win the match, but it would have been nasty to see that 1v4. I feel like there were so many highlight moments in that very first game. I think we're off to a great start today.
Well, I have to say, like, Knights, they were up there as well. So, yo, Glitter and I were close. We were close. Not quite, though, unfortunately. Besiktas, though, finally, I feel like they kind of deserved that at some point because they had been kind of improving their gameplay, getting up towards the top of the end game there, and now they finally went on ahead and took it. And Zute, I mean, look, they went on ahead and actually jumped up into that second place position now.
Yeah, Besiktas looking really good. This, by the way, is their first Super Weekend. Okay, guys? This is their first one, and they're absolutely crushing it. Super happy to see. The Knights dropped down in 3rd overall for just this Super Weekend. By the way, these points are Super Weekend 2 only, so make sure you don't get it confused with how Super Weekend 1 ended up. We'll see those overalls later on during the show, Glitter.
Yeah, and then as we see on the second page here, one of those teams that we said we were going to be keeping our eyes on, Baluk Cheptan, doesn't actually start off the day too strong, only able to add 2 points there to their overall total, so hopefully they'll be able to pick it up in the next 4 matches.
They still are there, though. They're much higher. They're in 10th place. That's still pretty good for this Super Weekend. It's really all those points to those teams below them that ended up kind of shoving them down in that overall, of course. So 60, I mean, around that 60 points is still nothing bad to have, but they need to go ahead and get more, definitely make it into the next Super Weekend. But just as a reminder to y'all, we talked about our predictions and who we would go on ahead and put our bets on, but now you guys could go on ahead and do that too with your favorite fan vote in the PUBG mobile app. You can vote for your favorite PMGC teams or players and go on ahead and get yourself rewards. Get a voting ticket by logging into the game, watch live in the Esports Center, and of course share the voting page. You can find more information in the in-game Esports Center, but basically just go play PUBG Mobile, go on ahead and vote for who you think is going to go on ahead and do well and get millions of rewards, including various pink level permanent items only during this PMGC period. Okay. Another thing that we have to go ahead and ask you guys really quickly is, of course, our question. So put your answer down in the chat, and I'm going to toss this to Zute and Glitter as well. But basically, which is your favorite map to watch? And I'm just going to add why as well. Zute.
Okay, it depends on my mood, you know. Sometimes I'm feeling Erangel, sometimes I'm feeling Miramar. Sometimes I'm feeling Sanhok. Okay, all right. Okay, if I had to pick one, it would be Erangel, because I feel like that's where all the teams do the best at. Okay, and so Erangel's where we see some of the most amount of highlight plays, I would say. What about you?
Jeez.
This is where I need Seven to be on my side here, okay? Because obviously the answer Sanhok do. Obviously, the chaos, the confusion, the unknown factor consistently, I guess, minus, the fact that Brazil has kind of taken over the map. But literally, I'm always the Sanhok fan.
Oh man, I mean, you were so adamant about that too. Wrong. So, okay. I'm not going to get in between y'all, but we'll see. Well, luckily for Zute, I guess, is we are going to be jumping into Miramar and maybe his second favorite, who knows. But next up is, in fact, the Miramar map. We're going to see who's going to go ahead and do well on that. But we're going to toss it to a very short break before we start getting into that.
They're going to be holding off the entirety of DRS, pushing in onto this onslaught now. Knock has taken place. Arcade is going to be falling on top. This is a very smart play. Oh no, Nima!
Yeah, L. Is he coming down side here from Yesna Poliana? Nice. They could move closer. They could try to stick together. They find the revive coming from those stereotypical locations.
Yeah, boy.
So we saw these teams drop on by. Don't do it. Don't save it. The paraglider is okay.
Mello, though, in a position to maybe receive open arms Reggie in a battle of his own.
Roger that.
Wall does get done. Will get down. Back up.
Help me!
Roger that.
Sarah, in the meantime, has managed to push all the way up. But it's the holdout coming through from the Deadeyes guy. Straight through the window. Lands some.
Just starting to make their way outside of Pachiki, which I would argue is a little bit too late. A couple of teams were like Helicopter! Extended to more, and I'm sure others will join in on the mix. If there's ever a time to say, helicopter!
It was at this moment that Nathan knew. He f***ed up.
No!
Yes, chills, but this will make it big for Semnot if they can get the chicken dinner. Now we're seeing a lot more information here. Yeah, what? What? He got it back in! He got it back in! What? Semnot with chicken dinner! What?
We're we're back here with PMGC Wesley going into Super Weekend 2 Day 3 Game 2 on Miramar course. Zute, let's go on ahead and just jump right on into it. You know, yesterday Ghost Gaming ended up going on ahead and winning our Miramar match for last time. I'm kind of curious, what are your thoughts on this next match?
Miramar, it's the most difficult map to play, in my opinion, because it's such a big map and rotating is so difficult. And it's not like Sanhok, where even though rotating is difficult, you can fight your way through things, right? You need to traverse mountains, valleys, dips, ridges. You got everything going on in Miramar, and then the hard shifts are even more difficult. So what am I expecting? I don't know, okay? It's Miramar. It could go... Miramar's can just... Everything depends on the zone shifts.
Okay, respect it, respect it. And now, Glitter, do you have more of an idea than Zute going into this?
No, I mean, I said it on the first day of the Super Weekend as well. I feel like now Miramar has our wild card map. Out of all three of our maps, we kind of find some consistency in at least the maybe 3 or 4 teams that always pull out a win on Sanhok. We can see the same types of drops and rotations and teams running into each other time and time again on Erangel. Miramar is always a little bit hectic, so we'll have to see how it plays out as we can see the head-to-head here up on the screen between Alucard and Besiktas. Sun is up here, and look at how similar these numbers are. This is actually really impressive there, Zoo.
Yeah, the numbers were super similar. I gotta give a little special shout out though to the Knights, because they were not the winners of that match, and Alucard still put in a lot. And here's the most throwable used. We have Furious Gaming in the lead with Scream VC with 14, Coops right behind with 13, and I believe that was a Fenerbahce player right there on the third one. But back to the map, Miramar, yeah, this is, I think Glitter put it perfectly, right? Miramar has become kind of the wild card. We've seen some consistency of teams on Sanhok and Erangel. It's the least wild card map of all of them. So it's really hard to just really say, like, what is going to happen at Miramar. I feel like Miramar is almost the map that almost any team could do well in, but any team that does well in Miramar is also a highly skilled team, because there is a lot of skill involved in just securing that chicken dinner as well.
So it comes down to maybe those team fights. Definitely comes down to where the zone shifts and the locations that the teams are able to go on ahead and achieve for themselves, it sounds like. Especially, I mean, it's always great to see when the zone shifts somewhere difficult and the teams are able to go on ahead and put themselves in that kind of safety position that launches them into a good position no matter where the next zone shift could go. So I would have to agree with that, Zute, that it really does come down to some teams and their knowledge as well when around these zones. But I will say, let's just jump straight into it as well. Like, keeping that in mind, let's just go and start with our predictions on which teams do you think could go on ahead and win this match using those strategies. And this time we're going to start with Glitter.
You know what? I feel like Zoo was kind of trying to sneak it in there that it has to be a very intelligent, you know, good at strategy team. They've got smart team, and then of course his pick, it's probably going to be the one that he thinks is going to be that squad. For me, I switched it up this time around. I actually went with A7, okay, for Miramar, because one, Revo clearly looks like he's trying to destroy somebody today, so I think he might be able to do so on this map. And two, A7 has actually done well on Miramar so far this weekend, the 2 times that they've gotten to play it. So they might be able to kind of continue that.
Okay. Well, Zute, I have a feeling I know what your prediction is as well, but just go ahead and get it out.
Yeah, A7 all the way, and I'm happy this time it's not 7 picking the same team as me. It's instead Glitter. We call her Glitter Damas because she just predicts the future more often than not. So I'm feeling really confident this time with my A7 pick.
Okay, well, I'm going to go on ahead and choose Na'Vi because kind of the same reasoning. I mean, they're also a team that is experienced. They do have that ability to go on ahead and know how to play that macro and micro really well. So coming into Miramar, I feel like they could go on ahead and take it away, especially since they have been doing really well this second Super Weekend. So seems like once again, we all pretty much have pretty solid picks here. And we're just going to go on ahead and toss it straight on into the game. There's no need to wait any longer. Let's go ahead and jump into Game 2 here of this Super Weekend. Miramar, once again, Highland Wolf and Necro casting it out.
Thank you very much, Bangkok on the analyst desk. We're heading up into game number 2 and my favorite map of them all, Miramar, the Desert Dunes, because my one, my true love, Beat Bus is here and I'm waiting for someone to try it because I want to see that big honk in action, Necro. I want to see the honk drive on.
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely. We're going to be seeing that. We're going to be seeing that BP bus, as you like to call it, in action. Why not? Right? I mean, you're going to be getting to see it. I'm pretty sure someone on another team is probably going to be going for that vehicle as a means of, you know, just try and rotate as quick as possible. But yeah, on the other hand now, playing Flatpad starting all the way down from Puerto Paraiso all the way up to La Cabrera. And both the analyst desk, it seems like Span Cargo went with Na'Vi. Now, quite an interesting one, you know. In Miramar, Na'Vi definitely, I would say, aren't really one of the best. They have been kind of struggling, but still, I mean, they are one of those teams that even I have my eyes out for.
I mean, they're struggling, but they've also been doing fairly decently when it comes to the points this second week. Way better than that first week, to be fair to them. But I do agree, right? There's been these some small scenarios here and there where the zone's being gifted to them. Yes, I don't think back here will go through. It was a nice try, Chico, but he does go wide on the shots. And to talk back, of course, to Na'Vi, right? I think that first game was a prime example of Na'Vi kind of getting gifted that zone in a way where had it gone over towards that more eastern coastal line, they probably wouldn't have actually ended up inside of that top 10. Never mind getting into that final series of zones, right? So it is now up to Na'Vi. Can they complete these issues and fix them? Because I think that it's time and time again we're seeing them be a very slow rotation team, and there's nothing wrong with being slow and staying on the outside, but you can't give up position and run out of options and have your only strategy be tanking that Starboy Hill, because that was a shot and a half right there also. Oh man, he sat down. He's lying down there. He's bleeding out, Necro. He's more just sitting down.
Oh, Coops was just tapping away, being really annoying, and then just one bullet from Fenerbahce is just like, sit down, son. I do understand, Coops, you're one of the best, but not this time in the map of Miramar. We are the one who are going to be ruling this time. But yeah, I still remember talking about Na'Vi, right? Yesterday's Miramar match 2. I mean, I do remember Na'Vi were kind of being caught on that late rotation by Black Dragons, but I'm going to hold on to my words over here as Supermassive Blaze. The last time, this was the team that was getting hunted, and now this time they're the one hunting other people.
Yeah, right. I mean, you're looking towards Supermassive Blaze. Can they also step up? Because I think SMB would be one of these teams who are very reliant, actually, but also very strategically applied around Crucera. I think that Crucera, one of the star players of this team, but I do have to hold a little bit here because Kuz has been revived, and Fenerbahce, I'm not sure they're too happy with this one. They are hunting further towards Koops and hunting towards Alucard as well at that. They want bloods, and I think Doka Machine, he's searching. He's cooking them up the top side, but there's no one there. He's going to cook down a ground floor instead, and Alucard, the rest are nice, so split. Chico so far away. This could be dangerous for Alucard and getting him out of there.
Oh man, Threat's back up online. Coops now back up on his feet. Not looking great for Fenerbahce. They have already made this commitment against Knight. Alucard, as you mentioned, in quite close against the players of Fenerbahce, but still, it really does come down to these initial engagements. Alucard does have the UMP to work in his favor, and he can definitely go on for those close duels. But let's just find out how things are really going to be looking like, because Fenerbahce, they do realize, they do sense a lot of threat. So they also do not really want to overcome it. Instead, take their own time, take their own sweet little time. And now it's just going to be coming down to the stalemate. And I do not personally like these stalemate situations. We can imagine how much time you can spend in looting. And take a look at this. This is a prime example, right? Rebellion. All he has is a VSS. He doesn't even have any meds. This time he could have put in, try and getting that loot as much as possible, and also try to position himself better inside the zone. Instead, now it's just going to be coming down to the stalemate. As long as this fight isn't really going to be sealed, these two teams are just going to be wasting a lot of time over here.
Yeah, it's been a bad shit. They tried to hold off the Valkyrie, but Nice didn't want any of it. They're going to jump on in. Chico's there as well. And they tried to hold on, but the support ain't there. Fenerbahce, they both drop down. And Knights with a brilliant awareness, the map read for actually Fenerbahce. They were waiting, of course, for Falcon. They were waiting for the rest of Fenerbahce to come in and support, but they were too slow, and as a result, Snoxbomb Falcon, they will have to move further back, and it'll be reduced to only a duo. A tough start for them.
Did you see that little BM over there? It was just shooting his dead body. In the end, even though he confirmed the kill, it was just shooting the dead body. It was like, all right, just make sure he's dead.
Down.
Yeah, just making sure he's dead. I mean, still, but yeah, Coops though definitely was able to get his revenge back up there. Gotta say, he's quite lucky to at least make it out alive until now. That shot was on the Coops. I'm pretty sure that definitely hurt his ego quite a lot. And now, on the other hand, team like Bullet yesterday stepped up quite huge, got themselves a decent amount of points, but still, that's not going to be sealing it. They need to step up a little bit more inside this final day. And this is where the one map has already been taken care of. You're moving on to the second map. The time's running away, and so are the maps.
It's an interesting zone as well, talking about this map, right? It has gone down. Very southwest, southeasterly, should I say, here. Get my compass the right way up, but it is going to be heading in towards the Los Leones, towards La Bendita. Entrance into the middle of the map. Ghost, get over that hill, no problem. They'll be able to survive, as they will get down into that zone, nice and dirty, in towards the center. And past that La Bendita side, as we said, pretty bloody in terms of those players potentially inside of the center point. That's where all of them lie. But I think heading back just a little bit, Ghost, they don't really have to go in on this. Could step further back. They could use La Bendita instead. They will hunt down potentially the player footballist, but Ram, he'll be out of there as quick as he got in. Ghost, he won't land that kill. Ram escapes for now, back towards Lovers.
Ram on a run, as you mentioned, not interested in fighting over here. Quite understandable. Ghost sticking back to their main gameplay, how they like to play, just going for that central position inside the zone as early as possible, looting as quickly as possible, and already making their mark in center. Ghost having quite a decent positioning up till now. Yeah, we did see quite interesting fights at the start, and the teams that I'm really eyeing out for are definitely have to be A7 and Na'Vi. Now A7 again making quite a safe rotation all the way from the outskirts, just rotating in from the right lines, making sure no one's going to be crossing their eyes, or either no one's going to be the one to at least waiting for them to rotate. But on the other hand, Frozen, what just happened over there? He knocked himself out, but it's understandable. Maybe it's just a little bit of panic move from his side. Black Dragons, though, they get themselves that kill secured. Frozen, a huge man from next Ruya, out the game now.
Black Dragons, they're coming away with that one kill. They got revenge, of course. Falling down to the Resident Destroyer. Just the game before in that 16th position, but they will have the one up on top of them. Is that zone. That's where I'm interested in. It is closing further forward, and we talked about those high grounds. There's not really many teams taking advantage of those high grounds towards more of that, should we say, western side of the zone, in towards La Bendita, the north side of Los Leones, right, in towards those hills, coming out past Graveyard, into the Junkyard section. None of these teams taking control of that. More all opting for, of course, that eastern side. We'll get a little bit of glimpse there as next Warrior Frozen. Oh, no, he went flying, and that's not how you want to end it. He can parachute for him. He needs a parachute back, but that backpack, it ain't got one. Next Warrior, that's the feels bad, man. That was some experimental death.
I don't even know if that was experimental, man. Oh, that's just complete unfortunate unluck. That's what I like to call. Next Ruya, they've gotten the game griefed by the PUBG gods. That's what we can say. The game's been griefed by the PUBG gods.
Failed him. It failed him in that moment. He went flying. He went up to moon.
Yep, it was like he was just not meant to survive inside this game. It was just not meant to survive. He got taken out the game quite early. And now Na'Vi again. We do have the map in front of us, and Na'Vi again making that late rotation inside the zone. Still, I'm pretty sure they're lacking a lot of info to work with. But let's just see how they're able to navigate their way through.
This second zone is brutal. It's gone all the way over to the
very like 50-50.
Eastern Ocean, right? And you even have those islands at play, and my mind's playing potentially here. We can see that island finish. I've not seen one before in my lifetime of casting PUBG, but I'm sure the Ghost, they won't be seeing it either, even if it does be the case, because actually, Ghost, speaking of Ghosts, they'll be able to survive, but HH24, not so much, but we will trade 1 for 1. and they will both be downed. And for the rest side of Ghost, they do have a little bit of a tricky position moving further into that zone. There's nowhere really they can go. Yes, they've taken down Supermassive Blaze, but behind them, you've still got more teams surging upwards and up towards that northern side. Where do you go when you've got the likes of A7 rotating themselves? Another example into all of those teams headward into the center.
Oh man, I definitely got to question what's going on. What's going wrong with Supermassive Blaze? I'm going to hold on though. Ghost, oh, that was quite good. As you'd like to mention, that BP bus almost led to their demise, but they were able to step back out of that as quick as possible, and now it's now able to reposition themselves in the fight. Soul came from the other side, joining the third party, and he's like, all right, I also want a little bit of food. I am quite hungry.
Yeah, he's just showing off at this point. It's okay Sunday. He's gotta warm up, man. This is his time to shine. Footboys, they had it stolen from them by Revo, but they're not quite done yet, and I think it's Spec who's overlooking the rest of the Knights. Anakar barely survives off of that nade, and Spec will retreat back down the hill. I think Ghost in a slightly vulnerable position here, but of course Knight's not willing to push. Sinnock's very far away from the fight and is trying to find that flank around, and with also Soul K there, makes it all that more difficult for Knights to actually be able to get over that hill and push.
Oh man, here comes the nade from the side of Knights. Not really able to make it up till the mark. Seems like they're also lacking on a little bit of info. And now Knights don't have a lot of breathing space to work with. Xenox is on the flank angle. If he gets spotted, maybe there will be a little bit of problem caused for Knights. But let's just find out if Xenox is able to pull off something from this angle. He can definitely, if he finds either free knock on to someone, and then maybe Ghost will put down only 2-man squad, and Knights will have a clear man advantage at that time. And there will be huge chances of them coming out on top. But on the other hand, now Aton out in the open, they're not going to be spared. Unicorns of Love are the one taking a little dig onto them, and Asta as well getting caught out in the open. But here comes the charging Lin behind this little rock to work with, but it seems like he does have quite a lot of things to say in this fight. Asta able to catch another player of Unicorns of Love. Aton, gotta say, they're replying back fire to fire.
GK first, he'll go down. Atom will swipe away the one kill onto Unicorns of Love, and they're trying to rotate further in, but they can't find the shots. Finally, they'll grab it as Volkis trades that 1v1. Asta is down, but look who's coming in behind. It's Baluchov Tan, and I think there's not much time for Volkis here as he gets on out of there. Milos as well. He is going to be looking potentially to steal this one away. Thankfully, Baluchov Tan, we do see him drive over the hill in towards the distance. As will be potential a nade. Will barely miss out on Milos. Cardi also up. Volkis looking for the revive on GK first. Nat.
Oh my god.
It's going to the islands. It's going to the islands.
God.
We got it, boys. I'm going to hold my point.
This is great.
Oh, the excitement. The excitement in my mind right now. Oh, the smile on my face.
Oh my god, imagine, Rise. The final day of the Super Weekend Week 2 as well. And well, this is definitely quite a great circle. And this is going to be one of these. This is going to be one of those legendary games, right? That everyone would want to go back and watch. But yeah, we do see Rice as well on that little screen right on the edge. They're looking at cross over on the other island. But yeah, Anton now over here. They do realize Unicorns of Love are they're quite beat down. They're quite hurt. But still, how is Anton going to be able to punish them? That's the question. Because Asta is still down. That means somewhere in the back of the mind, the pressure is still on Anton. But Unicorns of Love, they've gotten all their players alive till now. They're able to get the rest back up on the fallen men. They're left with only 2 players alive. GK first still needs to get back up Rolkis. Not bad. And now should be able to do so in no time. But still, Aton, Cardi trying to make that flank angle happen, trying to go in. It seems like this fight is going to be going on for a little bit more.
Yeah, it's going to go on for a little bit while longer, but not much longer, because Milo's going to slap her down. By the rest of Unicorns of Love, then it will finally be Cardi, I think, should be able to clean them up, but not quite. Actually, it will be a second coming in from Unicorns of Love. It takes Asta to finally flush them away. Is if they hop here, Knights going potentially for that final member of Asta, but instead realizing, of course, that zone so dire has it gone over towards those islands. And Rise, Besiktas, they've got such a position here over that main island to take such control. And it's now whoever takes that final island, right, the one towards the south, who's going to have that third island control to slice down those swimmers.
Oh man, here we go. Besiktas, the cruel fisherman, just trying to take out fishes that are swimming in the water just to try and make it to the other side of the island. And now here we go. Furious Gaming are one of those to just try and swim in, including Footballists as well. All the teams, man, they're just like trying to swim on the other side. And we do see Na'Vi as well on the edge, just to try and take a little bit more shots. But again, Na'Vi, they're going to be having a little bit more trouble because they still haven't rotated over on the other side. Footballists, I'm going to hold on to my words that they're being caught off guard. It seems like Solke Sunday isn't really working this time around.
Solke Sunday is extinct. It's Footballists. They're going to fall all the way down to 3, as I think their good luck charm is gone. Nice. They will confirm Solke on the edge of the ocean side, and a moment for us all as we witness what will be absolute massacre here coming into this phase 4 zone. The zone is gone up towards the north here, and it's only Rise who control that one compound. It's up to Rise. Can they defend? Can they stop these little fishies, these whales, from beaching up front, or will they be beached by Rise into the deep, deep ocean? It's up to them. They've got a zone, and it's only them.
Dude, Rise won this. Rise literally won this. Everyone in the front lines is trying to swim inside the island, while over here, Rise, they're looking just so good. They have the high ground. They have all 4 of their players just looking at all the different angles, making sure no one's going to be sneaking past through anyone's eyes. And also the blue zone's dealing quite a lot of damage on these teams. So Rise, they have potentially won this. And look at this Nunes as well. Quite well aware that maybe there is someone right behind that little ship as well. Phil Nunes just trying to check out a little bit of nukes and crannies, making sure no one has just snuck past through. GC got being spotted, took a couple of shots onto him. And now Black Dragon still right on the edge, but they're not going to be able to get past through. I'm pretty sure Nunes is just going to take care of that. Nade being cooked in from his side. Underhand Nade comes in through. And finally a man from Black Dragon's being spotted. Over here, if he's able to win this duel against Nunes, maybe there's a chance, but no. He denies that. And now Rise, as I mentioned, this is their game. There's no way.
Rise, it's all down to Nunes. Can he stop for squeezing? It was a brilliant nade to actually reveal Black Dragons and burn the boat away from blocking him. Is he were able to confirm the kill, but it wasn't clean, and also Kitsune, I think. Oh no, he's been spotted by Mufasa. But look, Rise, they had to control the entire lobby. They can't do it all, and now they're starting to land. Of course, Besiktas as well, controlling that southern front. And we'll control the flank side as Mythic waiting for Sanhok out to land. And when Will slicing down, but he misses the shots to make 7. I think they'll be counting themselves alive as Trigger's in. He's making the dance work. He's a tanker, man. He's got the salsa going on. He's got every move. Oh my days, they tried and they failed.
Oh, Trigger's in just dancing alongside with those bullets, just trying to bob and weave around. Oh my god, still gotta say that was quite a funny moment. But on the other hand now, Rise again continuing to put on pressure on the teams that are in the front, trying to cross over. And Rise, they're not gonna let that happen because I'm pretty sure Rise are one of those jealous bunch. Kitsune being spotted, trying to return fire back, but seems like this time it's not really gonna be working. Matic has made it pass through, but still hasn't made his mark on the land over here. Texi being spotted, instantly gets taken care of. Meki as well being spotted. The zone's dealing quite a lot of damage and they will have to tank it. They just don't have any other choice. And as I mentioned, Na'Vi with the late rotation, they will have to pay the price for this.
Meki, there's no saving him. He's got to go upwards and downwards back into the ocean. Is the only way he's going. Mythic, they're waiting for him to board. The moment he does, should be going down. Footballist as well. Getting sliced away on the outside. Next wave over the kill feed, and A7 will take 1. This is, of course, A7. Mafioso is also waiting. So who grabs the kills?
Oh man, here we go. Just tapping away. Mafioso does realize these are free kills if he's able to pick these up. Of course, going to be a little bit more points in the back. But guess what, Jake? We haven't really looked at the map, and it's Besiktas again. They have great positioning over here. And they're also pretty much right in the center. They have a great positioning. They can always try and win this one. Again, maybe a back-to-back. That would be a good showing from their side. But A7 just continuing to write down death and destruction. And Na'Vi, they're not really able to handle the amount of damage that's being inflicted onto them. And Na'Vi, well, they're just crumbling down slowly and steadily. They're suffocating to death. And as time passes by, I'm pretty sure the pain is just going to keep on increasing.
A big knock there for Furious Gaming. That might get them a little bit upwards onto the Manus side, onto Besiktas. But Besiktas, you said, right? They played towards the positions rather than the kills, and as a result, they were able then to find this good position over Rise, despite them having the island itself first. The mountainside, so difficult here, and this is where, of course, the maximum knowledge of these players is really put into testing. It's unfortunate next Roy, they do swim upwards into Center Texas, open arms. But as we said, how much of these islands do these players really know? I mean, the likelihood of it ever going here, so slim.
Oh man, here we go. Besiktas again now spotting the players of Knights. A lot of damage being inflicted. I'm pretty sure Knights, that's it for them. Their journey's going to be ending over here inside this game. But the nade coming in, that takes down Reese, and this is going to be putting a lot of pressure on the Besiktas. They will have to try and take care of Furious Gaming now, and that's quite huge hilltop. That's quite a huge high ground that Besiktas has to work with, but still Furious Gaming are easily able to take him down. Another Molotov to try and confirm the kill, but will it land on Mark? That's the question. Triggers in just a little bit off mark there. Enjoy 7 sticking the res on to race, and he should be able to get back up. And now Furious Gaming, they're also bleeding.
Furious Gaming a knock in return will come back down the mountainside. Besiktas, they'll find a nade in, they have to run. It will land, rolls over and takes him out anyways. Triggers in, he's next to follow. A beautiful ball there, Besiktas, they land a strike down, and Furious Gaming, they're out. We're down to a final 4, and Zessi's already on the run towards A7.
Oh man, gotta say, beautiful teamwork from the side of Besiktas. And now A7 is the other team they will need to try and take care of if they want to win this game. Circle shifting onto the players of A7. Getting favored there by the final zone. A7, they're going to be feeling all-time high. They're going to be feeling on cloud 9. And Aston knows it's done. Just putting in some moves, just using those emos, trying to entertain the viewers. But yeah, now Rise Nunes goes down. This is a huge knock. We were talking about how this game might just be Rise's, but in the end, it's just able to slip past through. And gotta say, a brilliant positioning from the side of A7. And the analysts, they're definitely going to be happy. They're definitely going to be having those devilish smiles on their faces.
Is this a moment of Azute? He finally gets A7 after all of these predictions. They'll come eventually with their win. But I think Besiktas Rise have got something else to say about this one. Never mind, because A7 Carrillo puts him down into the dirt. Carrillo, he's going to burn him up. His Rise Mufasa is also going to drop on the opposite end. There's such control coming out of A7.
Oh my God, that's a good shot.
On both fronts. That nade, it won't land. It will go short. Smoke. The only thing defending him right now, Besiktas, what do? They need some land of those mollies. They need them grenades. Potentially, this could be the rogue. Could be Mythic coming in the backside onto Mafioso. I don't think they spotted him. Maybe takes out Mafioso. Could turn the heads off, but Nunes as well rotating up.
Oh, here we go, but the fight breaks out. Finally, the silence breaking into a lot of bullets now. And well, the damage being inflicted on both these sides. And Reason, no, he slips off. He slips off the edge and he goes down, and Zessi as well, now the only man left alive to try and hold this position that he has, and he will be taken care of. And guess what's going on? The position that Besiktas had, unfortunately, they slipped off the edge. Had quite a lot of slippery shoes there, gotta say that, but A7 there, it seems like they're on a hunt. They want to confirm these kills, and Rise, they were left with only that one last man alive. Rise did catch quite a lot of haircuts from the side of A7 with those M24. Gotta say, Mythic, is he able to retaliate back? That's the question. If Mythic wins this duel, maybe Rise will have a huge chance of trying to bounce back in this one. If he's not able to do so, then A7, they are going to be finding themselves in the dirt. But over here, A7, they're making sure that Besiktas is biting the dust over here. They're just on a hunt, they're on a prowl. But on the other hand, A7, they're getting charged up on Mythic.
And rightly so, Mythic goes down. And that's going to be all they wrote for Rise is A7. It's all onto them. It's all their game, and Nunes has something to say about that. Is now it comes down to A7. Finally, a victory for them. Is they do clean up Nunes. They took down Enjoy. They took down the rest of Besiktas. And as you said, slippery times in the minus side for A7. Zute, glitter explosion. They got the glitter Domus effect, man. What can I say? A7 to come out on top.
Oh man, that was quite a crazy game, gotta say. It just shifted from Rise to Besiktas into A7. The zone just kept on teasing us with those wins, right? They were like, all right, maybe Rise is gonna win this one. No, the other time it was Besiktas who had the best control. And then later on in the end, it was just A7 with a brilliant rotationing all the way from the right side, making sure they were able to grab as much as intel as possible to work with that, making that rotation happen. And in the end, A7 also got kind of favored by the zone, not gonna lie.
I mean, A7, to be fair, they control over that zone, even though they had that shift over. I think this is what it came down to with teams like Besiktas, of also Alpha 7. They didn't go for these kills. They actually were going more for those positioning points when it came to the overall zone and the shape of it. And that's why, actually, Rise, they fell behind coming up to the top of that mountainside. I'm surprised they even got that third position, or that second position, just I say, actually, in. And they were able to overtake Besiktas, because I thought Besiktas, they could have done that. But it was, again, I think also Furious Gaming that really slowed the control coming through from Besiktas. A twice knock onto recent through with the nades, that was what stopped them being able to push and stop Alpha 7 from taking that total control over the mountainside.
I mean, hey, how can you forget about those moves being put on from the side of Furious Gaming, right? Trigger just bobbing and weaving those bullets, just trying to dodge, just dancing alongside them, just making sure he's not really getting hit by those. And he was able to make it out alive still for quite long, and I was surprised, gotta say. But on the other hand, Knights, yeah, this is how the third party really did come through. And the fight between Anton and Unicorns of Love, definitely quite interesting. The man advantage kept on favoring the other team. And in the end, Unicorns of Love didn't really seem to kind of have control over the fight.
Yeah, it just felt like Unicorns of Love, they're really struggling today to get into these zones. And now, can they really come in, game 3, 4, 5, step this up? Because as we said, they're coming into today, they're not the same Unicorns of Love that they were. They're slipping down on that leaderboard. We've got to show them who is that top unicorn on the leaderboard itself. Is Rise. Still beautiful control, nevertheless, taking out a lot of these teams. But I think the problem was Rise was, right, they were trying to take too many players at once. When you have all of the teams trying to cross over to the island, yes, you can get some, but you can't get all. And I think they filled the bag too big. They couldn't carry it off of this man's side, where, of course, A7 was all this control, pushing away the rest of Besiktas down the hill with the positioning, then actually choking away Nunes, choking away the rest of Rise as well, even against, of course, that flank side was so beautiful.
Oh man, I just gotta say, in the end, A7, I gotta say, even though they're one of the best teams, but after that game, I gotta say, it's kind of like +1 rep for them from my side, man. It's a little bit more respect.
A little bit more respect, but I've got respect for the Glitter Domus effect here. It's going to hit back over to the analyst desk one more time.
Nothing I gotta point out is that Glitter said that Miramar was the wild card map, and I don't think any of us expected that one, going on over to those islands. I mean, Glitter just, what do you have to say for yourself?
I love it. I'm here for it, okay? We said as soon as we saw the possibility, even Zute was like, oh, what if it goes over to the islands? You were talking about it, and we wanted it, and we got it, and A7 is the one that comes out. It's 12 elims, Zoo! 12 elims and the chicken dinner. That's a huge game for them.
Yeah, all I gotta say is, because I'm an island boy, alright? If you guys don't know the reference, well, you've been living under a rock. I mean, A7, they're blasting that song right now. And I'm even more happy, because I was like, Glitter Domus picked A7. I will pick A7. And they will win. And that is exactly what happened in one of the craziest Miramar zones we've seen to date. Today just gets better and better. And Coop's MVP as well after Coop's got shot in the head with the Winchester, and he's like, nah, I'm gonna take MVP this game because you guys just did that. So wow, 4 elims, 739 damage. Shout outs to Coops. This game was just all sorts of fun.
Yeah, had to defend his honor after that wind shot, definitely. But that was just, I don't even know what we were expecting towards the end there. I mean, it wasn't even Alpha 7 that was up there on the island first. It was a different team that actually went on ahead and grabbed that location initially. And we were thinking, I wonder if they're going to be able to protect this island or not. And it seems like they didn't quite hold it out. Another team I got to point out, Besiktas again, grabbing that third place position. I mean, they're just finding themselves a way in there.
Yeah, Besiktas, I think after today ends, they're going to be the second highest scoring Super Weekend team. I don't think they're pass up that 200 something that SSG did, But Besiktas, like, they are insanely consistent, insanely high level in this second Super Weekend Glitter.
Yeah, I mean, that's what, when I was talking about them at the top of the show, I was saying that they haven't placed below double digits more than once, like they focus so well on their placements, on getting a solid spot in the zone, and then they're able to fend people off. That team that was on the island with them that we thought might be in a good spot was actually Rise, who did end up doing well for themselves in this last match. They just weren't able to close it out. I mean, truly, it was Besiktas that we saw those players falling off kind of down the cliff. I think had that not happened, Zoo, that it would have been a little bit scarier ending there.
100%. I was scared because I saw that flank out of the Rise player, and if that flank lined up with the Besiktas push and they didn't fall off, Alpha 7 was suddenly pinched. So for a second, I was like, oh no, they're gonna lose this, but they fell off.
When they started falling, my stomach literally dropped. I mean, that was so far. Those cliffs were so tall, and they just phew, all the way down. Oh my goodness, that was just a disgusting match. I mean, I feel like we got gifted there a little bit ourselves because I love being able to see those zones. They're just always so entertaining to go ahead and be able to watch. I'm sure those players might not be as happy, but I'm sure it was fun to play. And speaking of gifts, you guys can go ahead and get yourselves a treasure box. Get yourself some gifts yourself. It's a PMGC exclusive. All you have to do is watch PMGC live on YouTube or in the in-game esports center. Get the PMGC token, redeem it, get that permanent item, and you're all set. So along with getting those amazing zones, you can get yourself some pretty sweet permanent items, including that pan. I still can't get over it. But, oh man, so our wildcard map is now officially over. And of course, went to Alpha 7, the thing that Zute has been waiting for this entire time. And that goes on ahead and ends with the question, which player do you think will heal the most at the end of the day? I mean, obviously, I feel like you kind of have to put some thought into that. It's obviously going to be one of the people that has, like, the highest survival time, but also getting involved in some fights. Do you guys want to go ahead and answer that question yourselves?
I know the answer, but I can't recall, like, off the top of my head, but it's whoever is that heal strat team on Sanhok.
That's what I was trying to think too, Zoo.
Yeah, I think it's Unicorns of Love. Yeah, I think Unicorns of Love is the heal strat team on Sanhok. So if I had to guess, it'd be a Unicorns of Love player.
Okay. Well, we're going to be able to kind of find out soon. We're one game closer to getting to that Sanhok match, but of course up next is going to be Erangel, and we're going to be throwing it on over there after a very short break, so don't go anywhere, y'all. The game's kind of just started. See you soon.
Already put down, but you can see the zone. Even one tick deleting through that health bar as they continue to move back and forward. But a nade
is the team that is on the edge lines, and S2G has found themselves right in the smack center. Unicorns love getting charged up on by Fenerbahce.
The only now outskirt team still to make it inside, still unsuccessful here is Mabuls. Fenerbahce here from one team, taking out another to the third, into a nade.
Exactly, and another circle as well ships out here, but not really a lot of cover to work with. Eastern Stars is the team that is on the edge lines, and S2G has found themselves right in the smack center. Unicorns love getting charged up on by Fenerbahce. A two-man falling
on the push as they come over the hill. The smoke's already put down, but you can see the zone. Even one tick deleting through that health bar as they continue to move back and forward. But a nade, that's a double. That's a silencer that you need for Rise to stop the push.
Can almost make out the shoulder of Silas. Silas looking to make some moves. Gary takes some shots. Going to be receiving a lot of the shots from Silas. Silas going to get chucked out from Papa Blue. Probably going to go out to Papa Blue, and we're looking at...
And that's more importantly positioned for them to then catch out Supermassive Blaze. At a later point is unfortunately Fenerbahce. They've been spotted by Zeta Texas. They go to be so easily run over, even if it is by S2G.
Exactly, and Unicorns Love as well is not really far away from Ghost, right below them at 96 points. And look at this, A7 carry out, finds one, finds second, a one-man army, striking again.
S2G, another nade, goes wide, but it's not enough. 1-for-1 trade, it's now all down.
1v1
himself. It's a 1v1, rightly so. Golden versus Silas. as he dips around. But the eyes, they're so strong for Black Dragon. Still those non-first down members giving the information away for Golden as he steps away over the hill.
Oh no, Salah's gonna be cooking a grenade, gonna be tossing the grenade, chunking down just a little bit of Golden, but Golden going for that return out here. And Fallas knows Golden probably looking for this pickup, probably looking for this revive. I don't think it's going to be possible. Golden needs to make sure to be locked and loaded, ready to take this engagement. Silas is going to be pushing with the UMP, go for that spray down, about 50% HP.
Hey y'all, we are back with PMGC West, the Super Weekend. Only 3 more matches left, so this next match is gonna get even spicier. It's actually after this where it's the halfway point of just today, so after this Erangel, these teams might be scrapping it even harder. You know, I feel like the last couple of games of a Super Weekend, or just any league at all, usually tends to be a little bit more chaotic.
Oh, it has been so much more chaotic. This is the most exciting start to a day in Super Weekend. I think it's going to just get better and better. Most damage for that last match did go over to Coop 739. Mafioso putting in a lot of work as well. And as for the elims, Carrillo stepping up in that #1 spot. But Besiktas once again so consistent, just really topping the different damage charts, point charts. They're just having a great weekend.
Yeah, and they're somebody that we've actually seen enjoy from Besiktas is somebody that we've actually seen up here on these top spots quite a few times for that team. I mean, Carrillo, we're starting to see step up a little bit, but what surprised me the most out of all of those is the fact that even in a game where Knights go out not early, just, you know, we weren't talking about them in those final zone moments, and Coops is still pulling down MVP. He's still in those top 3 spots for damage, elims. Like, he just can't be stopped.
No, he cannot. I mean, there's just a couple of teams that keep on holding on to those end games and are able to really kind of perform really well. And I'm going to go on ahead and kind of take this as the opportunity to be like, that's why I think maybe this next match, maybe I'm going to go on ahead and go with Knights. But before we get to there, before we get into predictions, let's talk about the OnePlus 9 Pro, because with flagship performance and an immersive 120Hz display and hypertouch technology made specifically for gamers, the OnePlus 9 and 9 Pro are your best shot to go on ahead and climb that leaderboard. But of course, to kind of finish off that thought, Glitter, that is exactly why for this next match, I personally am going to go with the Knights to take this next Erangel win. Just a strong statement right now. Like, I have claimed the Knights to take this next one because they were so close in that first Erangel match. In this last one, they didn't even place that bad either, so now I feel like it's due for Knights to go on ahead and get their next chicken dinner. Zite, how about you?
Okay, well, Alpha 7, and before the chat groans, hey, to add a little bit of an analytic depth to this, Alpha 7 in Americas did have a day where they won 4 games in a row, 4 chicken dinners in a row. So let's make it happen, Alpha 7. You got 1. There's 3 more games, so maybe it'll happen.
Dang. Set the bar real high for him there. You know, I like it. However, going into this next match, we were just talking about their consistency. I want to see if they can do it a 3rd game in a row. I'm looking at Besiktas this time around. Okay, they already have a chicken dinner under their belt. Erangel is a map that they have now performed consistently time and time again on. So let's see if they can just be that top consistent team for today.
And luckily there's not as many steep cliffs as there are in Miramar, so hopefully they won't go on ahead and just send themselves down on this map. I think they're a little bit safe from that. But so yeah, once again, I feel like all of our picks are very strong. Kind of curious to see if any of them are going to go on ahead and kind of step up to the challenge, take that chicken dinner for themselves, or if once again we're going to see somebody else kind of surprise us. Because I gotta say, we talked about it yesterday a little bit. Our very first day of this Super Weekend, there's a lot of different teams that ended up kind of surprising us and getting chicken dinners. Then after a while, yesterday, a little bit more consistent, of course, with the teams who went and grabbed chicken dinners. Today, so far, we're getting 2 different teams going on ahead and grabbing chicken dinners. Kind of curious, is it going to kind of emulate more the first day of the Super Weekend or the second?
Ooh. That's hard to say. What I will say about today that's a little bit different than other days are the zone endings, right? Like that Miramar, for one, obviously, never come on, right? Island boy zone. But the Erangel game today in the first one also, it kind of just ended in an open space in a like pocket between Yaz and then Northern Stallburst. So that's also an unusual ending. So if this continues, we might see just one team from different sides get a chicken dinner if we get those weird zone endings constantly.
Okay, well, we'll see. A different team or 4 games in a row for Alpha 7 as Zute challenges them. We'll end up seeing because we're about to be launching ourselves into the second Erangel match of the day, our 3rd match in total. And again, tossing over to different casters. Welcome, Hutchix and Mustache Dave.
Thank you so much, Bad Cargo. Mustache Dave, what is happening, brother? Let's get into match number 3 here. Zute, the number 1 Alpha 7 fanboy, okay? Right, we saw him. He got the eyebrow slit, Dave. And is the eyebrow slit the reason why Alpha 7 is doing so good?
Probably that and the fact that Zute and them, they're island boys. You know, it's all about the island boys
island.
trying to get there. It's just the vibe out here. Man, I was backstage watching the island finish, and I was pulling out my mustache hairs because it was intense. So I'm hoping this game to kind of continue with the crazy final zones. I'm gonna say we're gonna end on top of the bridge, that east bridge right there. That's the spot, Hot Jukes. Give it to me, man. Let me get my wish.
East Bridge? Oh,
maybe.
It's in the east. It is in the east. I thought you said west side, best side, though.
I'm an island boy. That song is stuck in my head. By the way, west side is the best side. Jake Cap, if you're watching, called me out today on the desk saying, saying how the east side is the best side. And I was like, whoa, okay, J Cap, I know your name has got Cap in it, but I didn't know you could be capping on the desk. So I'm just saying, man, west side is the best side.
It's in his
Cap,
name. What can you say?
Don't believe it. He's looking for diamonds.
Well, you ain't gonna find him in the east because we're shining out here in the west, baby. We're shining. And look, oh, baby, look, we're starting off. It's Alpha 7. Where's my graphic? Going at it once again. They cannot stay away from each other. And the punch out from Navi. Oh, that was a hateful punch out. I'll tell you that for sure. There was a lot. Oh, they was throwing them fists. He was throwing them
out. You get the bell out, you know, round 2, round 3.
I mean, this has got to be like round 15. These guys are going into OT.
That's what it's all about. But look at the overall leaderboards right there. Navi, 9th place, right? I feel like Navi have a lot more to lose in a sense of they're trying to get as many points as possible. Meanwhile, A7 all the way at the top looking mighty fine. And just looking at yesterday's points, Navi doing a great job this Super Weekend so far compared to Super Weekend number 1. I believe after yesterday they had like 111 points. And another team kind of right behind them that I am extremely impressed with, not counting today's Game 1 Chicken Dinner, but Besiktas. This team, they missed the Super Weekend, all right? They came into this Super Weekend 110 points yesterday. They are just slaying. They got the memo, and the memo said, hey, we missed weekend number 1. We need to do something. We need to double our output of points this weekend, and that's exactly what they've been doing here so far, Hot Jukes. Look at the leaderboard. They're in 11th place. They've only played 1 Super Weekend, and they are in 11th place. Like, they're on top of their game right now.
They are out-fragging squads that have played 15 more games than them. That is insane. Actually insane. I mean, literally, when they have 152 points, they are not that far away if they keep on this trend with pacing to literally be within the top 5. Like, that's how insane they're performing here. And if they have a few more, you know, this game and the other 2, they pop off, dude, they're going to be sitting pretty going into the last. I mean, they're already sitting pretty. That's just so crazy to me that we saw a squad miss 1 Super Weekend and perform this well.
Yeah, honestly, you know, any team like that, I think the goal is to obviously qualify for the last Super Weekend and just get some type of consistent points.
Tron!
But Tron, talk about a team looking for a come up here. Oh! Woo! Okay, we can see them in 15th position with 105 points, so they're looking to make some moves.
Oh,
Tron was still laying down. Oh,
he didn't
Tron,
even
what's
look
happening?
behind him. He didn't even look behind him. Furious came in hot after that crazy slay. Let's see a beautiful nade here. They're trying to get that pressure. They want to be able to save him. Supermassive Blaze. Oh, that nade going just a little too far. You're going to have to see some serious pre-fires here if they do want to keep Tron alive. Because you know for a fact they're going to want to get that thirst. This nade could be it. But he can't be too
Gandacia,
close
run
to
him
his
over.
teammate.
That's what I would do. Grenade, Gandacia, run him over. You got to make a move happen. You got to go for it here, Hot Juice.
These are panic nades, honestly. Like, he should just take his time, throw it properly, and you'll hit it. Oh, okay, there come the angles. Xavier on this off angle. Gonna catch trigger eventually. It's only a matter of time. So he's gonna actually run up. Running to the right. Can't run to the right. He's gotta run to the left. Get a little support from his teammate. Easy play. That's how you do it. Supermassive Blaze. What a shot, though, there from Tron. To switch to that M249. Iron sight. Taking down that second player. I mean, Furious Gaming, they were pissed. They came in the back. They knocked him. But then the support, dude, finally came in hot. And Supermassive Blaze getting the W in that fight. Good stuff.
You know what? Tron still alive. Big boy Tron out here. Still alive with the M249. That's what you like to see. And I think that's a good start for SMB this game because looking at their total points from yesterday and the day before, only 35 points they have acquired here so far in this Super Weekend #2. So for them to get a couple kills early game, that should set them up pretty good. Now, I think just focus on trying to get some placement points to go with it, and this could be the comeback game that SMB have been looking for here this Super Weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good fight right there to kind of set that momentum. I know you're a big fan of that. So if that's what they're looking to get, you know, that's a big, that's a way to get the engine started for sure here. Fenerbahce keeping an eye on Ghost Gaming. Beowulf getting caught out in the open. Let's get pieced up a little bit. He is behind that rock, so he's going to be safe for now. And look at that. Instantly switches to those tires. Busts that buggy up. Spec said, that's my buggy. I just made a payment on it. And I'm not having it, dude. Putting some shots down with the DP. Getting that entry knock. I wonder if Ghost is going to play this a little aggressive after that. I don't really think so, though. Ghost is very careful, especially in that early mid-game. They really try to avoid fights unless they come to them with no choice.
Well, not only that, like, Bayo just lost a tire, right? So even if they wanted to close the gap in a vehicle, it's going to be a challenge. So I think both teams are going to kind of be neighbors for the time being. And talk about not being a nice neighbor. Mufasa right there with the spray down. Oh, no, this is SMD coming off that hop. Gary win with that last team fight. And Gary wrap around the corner right there, taking down Tron.
How dare you challenge Gary, dude. Gary just too strong. And one last remaining member of Supermassive Blaze trying to run away, and he is going to be able to escape. Oh, actually runs into next arena. You saw that. I want to see that replay with that. You know, instantly turned to the right. And he is beat up. Yeah, he's not taking any chances.
Are we heading towards where Ghost? Where are we going?
Dude, he's just trying not to go to the lobby.
That is a fact. And look at this. They're going to be possibly... Okay, looks like they're pulling off. Oh, he's still driving out there, though. Really low, about 25 HP. Man, I can only imagine the team comms right now, like the stress levels after that nice fight that they won just a couple moments ago. And then to crash upon a compound and just kind of get wiped out like that. That's to take the wind out them sails a little bit here.
Let me ask you this, Dave, right? Since you are the biggest fan of momentum. There's no bigger fan of momentum than you are, okay? So I am now coining the new segment, the Mustache Dave Momentum Meter, right? The Momentum Meter. Tell me after that fight, where are they currently sitting at? Crush the numbers for me.
Right now it's negative because of what just happened. Next Rhea actually came up to finish what they started. And yeah, 4v1. The momentum meter, Hot Jukes, all right? That fight that they won, that they won in the open fields, it was like boop, beep, 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 beep. It was like going to like a 7 or 8, maybe 8.5. And the momentum meter goes to 10, by the way. It was there. It was there. So I definitely get why that next push happened. But then, you know, they underestimated Gary. And you can't underestimate Gary.
Never.
And then I think Gary taking those shots right there on the Tron, that momentum meter, it went down a couple notches, around 2, maybe 2.5, because, you know, your blood's still kind of pumping. after that last win, a couple kill points. But then right there, you know, you're solo. You're just trying to live your life. You're trying to vibe out in a compound and just get those placement points. And then 4 enemies roll up on you. It's back to 0, Hot Jukes. And that's the truth.
The second you hear those footsteps, huh? Instantly goes down.
0. So hopefully they can look at the positive note, and that is that they got a couple kill points this game to offset the poor placement points that they didn't acquire this game. So a couple more games to go. SMB, don't stress it. Just make that comeback, baby.
Gotta reset it. Gotta get that momentum back up to the top. And we'll see in the future games that they're going to be able to do that. We're still at this one here. Got 2 teams out. That's going to be Supermassive Blaze and Furious Gaming. We still got quite a few squads here. Team that I think that I've had my eyes on this whole Super Weekend, Baluk chopped on. Okay, Dave? They have just not put out a performance this Super Weekend that they were hoping for, in my eyes, right? What are your thoughts on them?
First of all, did I do a good job at painting the visual?
Oh, dude, that was perfect. I mean, it is your meter, and I see it clearly.
Okay, thanks. I just wanted some feedback right there. When we're talking about Baluk, yeah, we do see them at the bottom, but you also have to think like they didn't play Super Weekend #1. And the other team that we're comparing them to is the Besiktas, right? Who also didn't play Super Weekend #1, but they are playing this Super Weekend. I think Besiktas are just on another level. So that's why we see the big gap between the 2 teams. But all things considered, if you look at the leaderboard from just this weekend alone, Baluk is in 10th place when it comes to points acquired. So I think with that in mind, Hot Jukes, they could do better, but they're not doing bad either, if that makes any sense.
I feel you. I think if you're Baluk, I would want to put up a couple more points here in these games here. Just some good finishes, because your next Super Weekend is not guaranteed. And you have to make sure you make it into that last Super Weekend if you're Baluk, I think, with the current points that you're putting up. If you're Besiktas, I think you're clear, to be honest. And honestly, when I see this, with the performance that they've put in, it really makes me just wonder, like, where would they be if they were in Super Weekend #1? Because their performance here this Super Weekend has just been nuts.
Imagine qualifying to the finals just playing 1 Super Weekend. That would really
insane.
That would turn the whole format upside down, in my opinion. Just the way that I looked at it, at least in the past, right? Very interesting topic you brought up right there. So let's see. I mean, Besiktas, we see them, Milta, already in their vehicles. They're going to be rotating on out, heading towards that shelter, probably trying to wrap around that northern end. But very interesting topic you brought up right there, for sure. And Baluk, yeah, they can do more, but I feel like they're not doing bad, though, Hot Jukes. And the only reason I'm saying that is because of just looking at the overall leaderboards from Super Weekend only, #2. And how I mentioned, they're currently around that 10th place with points acquired. So I think that's the mid-pack. You know, that's where you want to be here.
Okay, sitting in the mid-pack. You know, it's good
But
to
if
see
they don't
there.
qualify for next weekend, then it's done. Yeah. So there is a lot of pressure at the same time.
Yeah, and it makes me it's just crazy to see Besiktas just how far they are so far with just this 1 Super Weekend. You can see Rokas from Unicorns of Love putting some shots downfield. Looks like it's going to be a party at Farm, where this next circle is heading on over to. Ghost sitting dead center at that one little snake way, where you're able to get a little bit of coverage. Next, Ruya holding Potato Hill. And Football is creeping on through the side of Pachinki. A lot of congestion, though, from Besiktas and Rise and Alpha 7 over in that northeast side, that shelter area. And this is where we're starting to keep an eye out over here. This is over here by Potato Hill. Navi, about to keep an eye on next Ruya. Getting really close, but I think in all honesty, they just kind of want to sit there, not really engage until the next circle. This is that planning phase right here.
And something else that's kind of interesting to me is, remember A7, they lost one really early on, and usually they're always hovering around Navi, but since they lost one early on, they're not on that northwest side this game. They went all the way to that east side. Something kind of unusual that I'm just going to point out there, but we'll keep tabs on that one because Xenox here from the Knights is going to be catching one of the Besiktas squad mates just kind of slipping, driving out in the open.
quick finish. And yeah, this is that planning phase, and I think we saw one of the members of Besiktas right there just kind of scouting, right? Trying to see what spots are available, which spots aren't free, and you just scouted just a little too close, you know, just a little too close, and you get taken out of your vehicle really quickly. Xenox showed that that's what he does. That is what he does. The next circle about to pop here the next few seconds. Teams starting to get ready. This is that the planning phase is over. Now it's time to start getting in those vehicles and get ready to move and execute that plan. And hopefully, plan is you don't have to move. The zone goes on you. But if not, you got to get going.
By the way, Revo, I don't know if you've been watching Hot Chicks.
I've been.
I know you've been watching, but I don't know if you've been noticing. Revo has been sniping all day long and hitting shots too. And the reason I bring that up is because you are known as one of the snipers here in the scene. So, like, how does that make you feel that we're starting to see these bolties coming into play here?
I love the bolt action. I think in my opinion, when it comes to FPS esports in general, sniping is some of the most like entertaining things to watch. Those crazy flick headshots. Reyes with the sprayed out though, getting Gary out the vehicle. That's the best time to fight Gary is when he's in a car.
The only time.
When he's got a gun in his hand, you got to watch out for Gary. That's for sure. But the bolt actions, I love to see it in competitive. I think it does have a place. Unfortunately, with how good these players are at spraying, I don't think we're going to see too much insane bolty action consistently. But look at this. I mean, yeah, look at this. 4x spraying, M4, long range all day.
Yeah, the talk about like the third party, Fenerbahce in a nice little trench out there with clean sight lines on the push from S2G.
Oh, Golden, so hurt.
As they're looking to collapse in on this compound. Golden, the last one alive. We might have to look at the kill feed because, yeah, they were taken out.
Taken out quick right there. Crazy nade, great support there from S2G. Pushing in there and ejecting the Black Dragons. Aton had to hold it against Alpha 7. And you can see Cardi throwing all that support, all that utility right their way. It's just Cardi up, it looks like, on that off angle against Rebo. Rebo with that shot should get him done, and does. So almost like a little bit of a bait play. Senatexa stands straight up. Aton shifts all his focus to him. And then from that off angle, Alpha 7 gets a. That's where they're so good. They're so good at fighting together. And, you know, not really giving you 1v1 situations. Great shots, though, from Next Ruya, and great use of utility to really put the hurt on the Na'Vi here on this Potato Hill side.
Yeah, and I just want to point out, Ghost had a 2-2 split, so I'm real curious. I see them in the kill feed. They're taking some shots from Fenerbahce, but also A7. But over here, Na'Vi, they have been just fighting everybody this game. Started with a hot drop, but now look at this. They're up against Frozen, and we know Frozen next to a boulder, that's a GG.
He's got some rocks. Frozen, when he's near the rock, his powers increase multiple times, and he hits the left, the right, but guess what? Kitsune says, yeah, I'll raise you a rock with some grass.
Touching grass, man. Touching grass. So they should be able to get the full revive. I don't see anybody near them on that Potato Hill, and, well, they're going to have a nice little buffer between them and everybody else. But Rollkiss trying to get some grenades on the Timber from S2G.
Timber, last one alive for S2G. They did get pushed up on by Unicorns of Love, and that nade so close. Timber pops in the buggy. That is standing straight up, and he looks to the sky as he is taken out of this match. Top 10 left into this game. Here, the Knights, very, very close in between Spec from Ghost Gaming and Alpha 7. Spec catches one, gets ear hold on the other side. Just crazy plays back and forth. So there goes Alpha 7 eliminated early in this one. They did get 4 kill points total. Ghost opting for the full reset. Knights looking to keep applying the pressure and take out the North American teammates.
Yeah, Spec yesterday was really hitting them shots. So for them to take out Spec and have Spec on their knees right here, this could be the advantage that the Knights need to make the collapse happen. And we see Coops applying that pressure with these grenades, slowly pushing up with the sprays from the M4. But they're also sending one of their teammates to get that wide wraparound. I don't know who it is, but they're in that vehicle. Oh, Alucard actually coming back. I was really looking at what Alucard's plan of action was there.
Yeah, Alucard, I think, was just looking to scout out that right side because this next circle has gone on up and the Knights are not in it. So they're trying to find a good way in. The hardship side is completely free. So I wonder which way Na'Vi is looking to opt and go towards. Unicorns of Love are the only team on the south side there. The rest of the terrain is all wide out in the open. So the Knights, here comes Na'Vi coming around the side, looking to push up it onto Rise. Full sending it out in. McHugh pops out the buggy. Goes for the quick thirst onto Mufasa, which he's going to get here in the next few seconds if he's able to spot him. First doesn't want to take any chances. Keeping eyes all over the map. And it looks like they're shifting their focus onto the Knights. Alucard getting spotted. Beautiful nade there from Tixie to open up this fight. And McHugh, you can tell he's hungry. He's on the move looking to get some frags.
I'm real curious, once when Ghosts start to hear these shots ring out in the distance, if they're going to try to backstab them, right? Because now the Knights, they're in a position where they can easily be sandwiched.
Definitely indeed. Xenox getting a beautiful shot onto Kitsune from the other side. And then, yeah, like just you mentioned it, Ghost, they heard all this action and they're peeking over to see what the fuss is all about. If they can pick up some kill points along the way, and Spec does find Xenox and gets the thirst onto him. So Ghost opting to play it very carefully. Spec running around, just gets caught out in the open, just a little too overextended. And now the rest of Ghost are going to be fighting with the blue zone creeping on in. And here comes Papa Blue, applying the pressure to all these squads. They're all going to get eliminated if they don't start moving right now.
Ooh, yeah, I really like the Knights are kind of hunkering down, holding a soft 2-2 split, defending from both Na'Vi and Ghost right there. And they're still alive. Coops on their knees, bleeding on out. Alucard gonna be popping in this buggy, looking to reposition. Like you mentioned, the blue zone going to be applying pressure. Alucard making that U-turn, popping out with the DP, but immediately taken down.
Immediately, Matic! Let's go, baby! Whips and punches out the bolt action with the quick snipe and finishes Ghost! Matic's insane! He's on fire!
Dude, this is what we're talking about,
Let's
Juice.
go!
This is what we're talking about here. Making them plays. Maddox still alive. Very low in the health department. Inside the smoke. Should be able to get the heal off. Going to be the last one alive. 13 kills on Na'Vi right now.
Na'Vi with the Baker's dozen, and Matic finishing that last kill off in style. Already a top 3 finish for Na'Vi. This is the Na'Vi we've been waiting to see, that I've been waiting to see here. Popping up, Matic feeling himself. You know he's gotta. And now you can see Football is keeping an eye on Unicorns of Love. That's gonna be really good for Matic, as that is gonna be a good distraction, because he is so far out of this circle. He's just trying to play sport, but it looks like he does end up getting caught out. No choice, nowhere to go. So Na'Vi out in 3rd place with some insane kills, though. A great performance from them regardless. Now let's see who's gonna get the chicken dinner here. Footballist versus Unicorns of Love.
4v4, okay. 4v4. I like Footballists to spread a little more, and they are gonna be right there on the edge. But let's see, GK first gonna be grouping up with Lin over here. Rolkiss all the way in the back lines, kind of playing that anchor to allow this push. But Footballists with a 3-1. GK first might be caught off guard. There's a member right next to him from Footballists.
Soulk. And it is Soulk Sunday, finally. It is Soulk Sunday, and look at him creeping and crawling. He's waiting. Finally takes the shots. Easy knock for him. Does get the thirst on a GK first. Now it's a 4v3. The rest of Footballers have to start applying that pressure for Soulk. Otherwise, he's going to get in trouble. He's going to have to catch Roll Kiss here on this other side if not careful. Instantly hits the lay down. Great play from Soulk there to just reset, understand his position. He's so far overextended. The rest of Footballers has to help him.
Soulk doing a great job at getting the attention. Lin gonna be popping up with that UMP. Take it down. Soulk, 1 down. We need that support. Rolkiss, getting a knock as well.
They had that was the way to start it off. Soulk started it, but the rest of Footballers just didn't make the moves that they needed to do. Not fast enough, and now Unicorns of Love are the team in the position to win this one. 3v2, they have the man advantage. Loots, finds some loot, a beautiful crate there, lucky for him. Not sure exactly which weapon he did find. Lavazin's got the rock. This is a really good boulder to hold here. You're gonna get a lot of sight lines, a lot of cover, and you should be able to throw this nade perfectly on top of Rolkiss. He's got the range,
yeah,
especially
really
with the elevation.
What weapon Lutz was able to acquire there. Not only weapon, but level 3 gear. So we'll see if that will help him in this 3v2.
Lutz has to find a really cheeky off angle here. Lavazin should be able to throw a great nade from his position. That boulder makes it harder to throw enemy nades onto as well. So he does throw that one, makes Rokiss move out the way. Honestly, if Lavas is able to get a really good like entry knock on top of that boulder and Lutz shoots at the same time, they could stand a chance here against Unicorns of Love.
The thing is, footballists, both of their positions are compromised. Unicorns of Love know for a fact where they are, and I don't think footballists know for a fact where everybody is from Unicorns of Love. Intel is everything.
Yes, indeed, that nade. Oh, that was almost everything right there. If Lavison goes down, it's over for footballists. But Lutz on that off angle, remember, Dave, that information is everything. They also have the high ground. The high ground.
Ooh, Lavison almost getting chunked out right there, taken out, but that boulder definitely saving him. Like you mentioned, was able to get a heal off, but immediately taking additional damage because Unicorns of Love, they are not letting off these grenades.
No, they're not. Lavas is really starting to get pressured now. One bad nade, and it's going to be over for him. They're throwing a ton of utility. He still stays up for the time being, but that's it. Yeah, Lutz had to start shooting and applying some pressure. He doesn't want to give away his position, but now, again, football is just playing it a little too slow. Gets one out the vehicle. That's a really good shot. Both other enemy players are very lined up. Lutz is going to go for a nade. If he hits this nade, that will be insane. Looks to be pretty good. Does a lot of damage to Rokiss. Lutz is going to throw another one. Looks like that was a Molotov, or actually a smoke. Goes for that free fire on the nade. Lutz is on fire here. Oh, he's getting information from Lavison. Lavison, while knocked, still up, giving his teammate the information they need. Finally goes down. Now Lutz is running blind. He's got to be able to make those plays. But no, Unicorns of Love, they're just going to reset. Yeah, Lutz, I don't think...
Rokiss going for the pickup.
Sending it.
Pulling off of it.
Oh, nice pre-fire. They're all lit. They are all lit. 2v1, gets caught with a nade, and that's all she wrote. Unicorns of Love winning match number 3, and oh man, that was beautiful, that one right there.
That was close. Lutz doing a good job, not gonna lie. They're, like you said, all 3 members were lit towards the end right there. One grenade, one headshot would have definitely have turned the tides, but it kind of goes back a couple steps before when you and I were calling like, where are the teammates? Soul's teammates, because Soul did a great job at getting a initial knock, very sneaky knock, and then right after they got that knock, immediately getting the attention of Unicorns of Love. We saw 2 members of Unicorns of Love immediately turn where they were looking, focused on Soul, and that was the window that we pointed out. Like, that was the window footballists needed to use to pretty much seal the deal. Like, they could have won the game right there, in my opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, when you look at this, you know, Unicorns of Love football these are 2 squads that we know for a fact are going to make it into the finals, right? So this is, when I look at this fight, I see it as kind of like that practice match. And when it comes to footballists, I think that you're right. I think they could have executed this a lot better. If they went with that support for Soul immediately, I think we would have seen that whole entire fight turn the tide in their favor. So regardless of whatever the situation is and excuses that you want to come up with, you got to make those plays, you know, and I think that is one that footballist is going to really look back at and, you know, use as a learning experience.
Oh, no, is this when Tron?
Oh,
the double
Tron.
from Tron, that was huge, but then immediately ran over right behind. So Tron, here's the buggy, tries to turn around, too late, already roadkill.
Oh, the momentum meter. You hate to see it go up and go right back down within seconds.
It happens, man. It happens.
It goes bloop, 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 bloop,
The important
bloop,
thing is, though,
bloop, 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 bloop.
the important thing is, though, you got more games. Just come to the next game, still feeling good, feeling confident, and do your best, right? That's all you can do here. You did qualify for the Super Weekend. Ernabachi, I loved that third-party position that they had right there on the entirety of that engagement. And they did a good job at really applying a lot of pressure and damage. I think they even got 2 kills out the mix.
Yeah, that was really done, really good. Ghost putting some shots right here, eliminating Alpha 7. Unicorns of Love ended up getting that third party onto S2G and finished them off. Tensa with a nice little spray from Bar. This is what I want to see, though. The man, the myth, the legend, Matic, dude. That play right there towards the end. Oh, I'm just waiting for it, Dave. I'm just waiting for it.
Gonna come. Ooh, Tixty with the fadeaway right there. The fadeaway 3. tossing the grenade and then just walking back. That's confidence right there. Oh man, I like that.
See Lutz up there up top putting some shots, and this is where it all started right here. Besiktas, oh wow, holding it down for as long as they could. Matic with the quick flick. Boom, that shit. Oh, it's so hype. And then instantly switches to that M4 and gets the squad wipe. Oh my goodness. Deleted.
Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, I did not see that. I'm glad that the highlights caught that. The three-piece, man. Matic. And it goes back to the very beginning where Na'Vi, didn't they drop onto A7 really early on and get one of their squad mates get a kill point real early? And then since then, they were just fighting everybody on that that west side. So Na'Vi, man, ton of kills this game, Hot Jukes.
Well, let me ask you this then, right? When it comes to that momentum meter, when it comes to Na'Vi, right? When they kill a member of Alpha 7 versus another player, how much does it go up?
You see up there, it's all the way there. When you got 13 to 14 kills, bam, right there. Momentum meter all day. Hey, let's see what the desk got to say about the mustache momentum meter.
Oh man, I wasn't prepared for that. All I have to say is, I guess I'll put it in perspective of, I think in this match there's a lot of solos actually that went on ahead and really kind of shined. The one I'm specifically talking about is Matic, and I think Zute, I think he definitely gained a fan during that match because you made like a ooh noise watching that.
Oh yeah, I mean Dave's talking about that momentum meter. Matic was the one that broke that momentum meter for me. Like when I saw that, yeah, exactly. But Na'Vi having a really good game, you know, bringing it back, and we're already on the second page. Just look at how many points the second page got. Barely any. It was really a game of just who showed up and who didn't. Front page taking all of the points there, Glitter.
Yeah, honestly, you know who I did notice on the front page that I'm happy to see there, because I feel like they've just been non-existent and quiet right now. We saw Ghost up there. I think they had 7 elims this game, some decent placement points as well, so it's nice to see them kind of start that momentum, but it was your boy, Zoo, that did end up shutting them down. So, I mean, it's better than nothing.
Better than nothing, but nothing beats what Matic just pulled out. I think that that honestly, after all the super weekends and all the matches, there were a lot of crazy moments, don't get me wrong, but I think that one takes the cake for now, unless I'm forgetting something.
Honestly, I'm not sure, but I will also like to point out that it seems like there was a really good amount of strong solos. Even at the end there, Lutz for Footballist, he was giving Unicorns of Love a literal run around those rocks and those trees. Like, he was doing pretty well just as a solo until eventually it was a nade that took him out at the end.
Yeah, the nade, it is the nade. They threw so many nades, and he had a push. It was 1v3. He did really good, but taking a look at the overall standings, after this is both super weekends combined, Alpha 7, of course, you know, my team pick, they are up there in first place and coming down into the second page. Remember, the team we're looking at was Besiktas in 11th with only one super. They have officially passed up Nexuria, Furious Gaming, and Aton 7. Those, and Supermassive Blaze, those 4 teams have an extra 15 games over Besiktas, and they're doing better. So they are absolutely killing it. Yes.
Oh my goodness, they're seriously taking this. Not even, I don't even know what to say. Personally, no, they realize that they need to kind of figure it out after that first week, and they definitely are. They're just on fire, seriously, coming into this. Even if you notice that they were again alive really late into this last game, so they've definitely cracked some sort of code coming into this, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see them be in the very end fight in this next match as well. But let's go ahead and talk about something that's very exclusive as well, and that is you guys can get yourself a treasure box. It's a PMGC exclusive. It's in the Esports Center. All you have to do is watch PMGC live on YouTube or in the in-game Esports Center. Get the PMGC token and go ahead and redeem it to get the PMGC permanent items in that Esports Center. Take a look at those sweet skins towards the bottom down there. Look at the pan, the outfit, the parachute, everything you possibly need. If you want to be as swaggy as Matic, just go on ahead and get that stuff as well. That's all I have to say about that. Oh man. And also, we're gonna go on ahead and jump into the chat question as well. Go on ahead and put your predictions down there, because this one's gonna be a spicy one, guys. Don't fight just yet. Let me ask it first. It's which team is the best in the East and the West League? So what's the best in the East and what's the best in the West? Zuti, do you want to answer this?
I'll make it quick. From the East, I love Star Wars Esports. I'm gonna pick that for the East, and then for the West, there's so many hype moments right now. But Alpha 7, because I've been picking them all the time, so I gotta go with Alpha 7. Glitter, you got your picks?
I mean, I support your Alpha 7 pick. I love that. I mean, East, the Infinity are at the top right now, but to be fair, they've actually had almost identical points Super Weekend over Super Weekend, so their consistency alone definitely warrants my vote, at least for best in the East. And then, God, the West is all over the place right now. I mean, you're sticking with A7. I'm going to stick with Footballist for right now.
Ooh.
Okay. I mean, I think that's a pretty strong pick as well, especially since they've kind of been popping off here. I mean, if it comes to consistency, I think there's a couple of other teams that I would pick in terms of the East, but we'll just have to wait and see, honestly. I feel like the best time to go ahead and see who really is the best in the East and West is when that eventual finals really comes around. Yes. So luckily we'll get a legit answer to that question in just a couple more weeks, but we're gonna go ahead and throw it back into a break, y'all, because we have only a couple more matches left, and the next one, kind of my favorite, it's up Sanhok, but we'll see you guys soon.
NANI?! お前はもう死んでいる。
I saw the first light, the first steps. Now I see much more. I capture Earth in all its beauty. I see action. I see drama. And I see it in the finest detail. Moments of inspiration. And the first steps. I am the 1+9.
Welcome back, PMGC West League, where we have 2 more matches left today for this 3rd Super Weekend, and I don't know what to expect, and I'm looking forward to see what's happening, because we kind of talk about this at the very end of each kind of cycle. We feel like some teams going ahead and kind of try something a little different, especially I feel like it's more prominent in these last couple of games. We're about to be sending it into Sanhok, and I feel like this is a perfect opportunity for some of these teams to kind of catch up in terms of kills. Oh man, Sanhok is going to be quite interesting. Zute, I mean, who do you think, right on the tip of your tongue, we already kind of did predictions here, but anything else you specifically want to say about this map and how people have been performing?
So there was a question earlier about who's going to heal the most at the end of the day, and I ended up talking about Unicorns of Love on Sanhok, because they do that heal strat a lot, and they just wanted chicken dinners. So I feel like that's momentum going towards them. You don't really need momentum to do heal strat, but still, it's like, maybe they'll get 2 really good games in a row on Sanhok, so I'm kind of looking out for Unicorns of Love to see what they do with the Sanhok game coming up.
Okay, we'll get your official prediction in a bit, but also it looks like we got to take a look at our head-to-head really quickly before we ask Glitter the same question. Looks like Tensa from Ghost and of course Kitsune from Navi going head-to-head in this last match. Oh my goodness, Tensa getting a lot of damage compared to Kitsune, 2 eliminations versus 4. I mean, this last match just insane when it came to playing on the very side of that hill. And Glitter, I'm actually kind of surprised to not see that Maddox going to be up there.
I mean, I talked about how we had Ghost up on that first page. of the match results for the first time in a long time. Not surprised that Tense is a huge contributor there as well. As we check out those most assists, we've got Kitsune, Lutz, and Fresh up here for the assists from that last match. I mean, Navi and Footballist have been consistent here, but I'm glad that we saw a solid performance out of Unicorns of Love in that last match, because they were somebody that I'd kind of called out at the beginning of the day as having a much stronger first Super Weekend in comparison to what they've got going on this weekend. They needed a little bit of a bounce back, so that chicken dinner is massive for them.
Okay, well, now we're going to be going into Sanhok. No more Erangel except for the last match. This next Sanhok, you know, we keep talking about these Brazilian teams just absolutely popping off. Are we going to go ahead and go with them once again in this? Or some other teams have kind of been showing up as well in these last couple of Sanhok. Zute, who are you going to go ahead and guess?
All right, so Alpha 7 would make the most sense for this map, but I'm actually gonna switch over to Navi. Call me bandwagon Zute, right? But I mean, Matic, I know this is for like who you think is gonna win, but to me these questions are more like, who's your favorite team right now? And right now, after seeing Matic pop off, I mean, he hit a headshot Car9 and then mowed down 2 other Ghost players for a full squad wipe. That was the sickest clip I've seen all week long, maybe even both Super Weekends. So I'm gonna throw Navi in.
Okay, wow, is this character development? Zute not choosing Alpha 7 for the first time? We'll have to wait and see. Glitter now, who are you going to go ahead and predict and sprinkle your luck onto?
Listen, I know you liked that play, Zute. I think Frozen might have a little bit something to say there with his 1v4. Don't forget that did happen as well, you know? But moving into Sanhok, I'm actually changing things up a little bit. Now I'm going with the Knights this time around, okay? Feel really good about the way Coops has been performing. Weirdly enough, this past weekend, they've actually been doing well for themselves on Sanhok, even though it is, like you're saying, Span, typically dominated by Brazil. And they need a win. They need a win here today, so I'm hoping that this is it.
Great. I agree. That's why I ended up choosing them earlier, but this time I didn't choose them, actually. For this match, I actually chose Footballist because I feel like they're already on a roll this entire Super Weekend, and specifically today as well. They are really popping off, so I'm actually going to go with Footballist. I kind of want to see them going ahead and win this next Sanhok match, so that's who I'm going with, y'all.
All right. I like it.
Right. Solid picks all around. I mean, we see a few of the same picks back and forth, but hey, at least I got off Alpha 7, right? So for everyone at chat, there you go.
It's a character development. We already talked about it. I mean, I do think that could be because as well, all these teams, we already said it before, like you can definitely tell that these teams are just absolutely progressing while we're going through this tournament completely. The first Super Weekend's much easier. This time, it's kind of more difficult to guess who's going to go on ahead and win the chicken dinner. That's why we keep bouncing around. Like there's such a high probability for so many of these teams that we have to go on ahead and kind of spread the love, I guess we'll call it. And it looks like next up, Sanhok. We don't have that much time left. Is there anything specific that we want to talk about going into this? I mean, we talked about yesterday the potential hot drop in Paradise that had been happening, kind of stopping. Yeah. I'm kind of curious. Zute, do you think that maybe Ghost will be going back and going on ahead and challenging S2G, or at this point are they fully committed out of there?
I think they're done. I think they're done challenging S2G. I saw Tense to make a tweet the other day, like it's just too difficult to fight, you know, against that team in the current circumstances. So I don't think we'll see any hot drops. I'm gonna make another prediction real quick. Unicorns of Love guaranteed at least top 3 through Medstratic. So there you go. A little wild card prediction right there.
Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see. We don't have too much longer to wait. We're about to be jumping into Sanhok for our second to last match today. This is the time where they have to go on ahead and grab as many points as possible, specifically kills, and let's just go on ahead and jump straight into it.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome here. Welcome back. I'm Hot Jukes here with Mustache Dave, and we are in Sanhok, baby. Let's get it going.
Let's get it going. Are we going to have any early action like we've kind of been seeing here past couple days, or are teams starting to fizzle out just a little bit? We do see Ghost Gaming not going to be dropping Paradise as predicted. They're giving up that spot to S2G. But look at this though. Bale, Tensa squaring up against Alucard with the UMP.
All right, well, when you give up your drop spot, you have to take somebody else's, and it looks like they're going to be dropping right there with the Knights. Coops is way far out from here. Bayo, that's CS12K. He's busting out the shotgun. Alucard, both holding angles. Playing it real carefully. Bayo's actually going to jump out right here. He's putting himself out of position. Not sure exactly where he's going with it. He's still going to get up in that CQC, trying to get up close with that shotgun. Oh, but the DBS from Chico! It's a little too strong. Tensa now stuck by himself. Looks like the Knights are going to get the better of the Ghost here regardless of the situation. Oh, never mind! Tensa with the bump shotty. Ooh, beats him up too. Oh, but gets the DBS. The DBS too strong. One shotgun deserves another.
Yeah, DBS definitely a little better, but I see HH looking to get involved over here, looking to pull up. Okay, Spec still out there in the distance, still looking for some loot, but
Got
HH coming up, talk about the cleanup crew.
Talk about it.
He knows he's up against shotguns.
Talk about it.
Talk about it right there.
Too strong there. Is he going to go for the thirsts? I would be shocked if he doesn't. Instead, looks like he just gets a couple of those knocks and does rotate away. Yeah, Spec on that other off angle could be a little dirty, but Coops, MVP Coops, shutting down HH right there. And then Chico coming with that DBS to clean him up. Now Spec, I guarantee you Spec pushes this. Guarantee
you have to.
He's gonna.
No option. You know, you just
Ghost
watch
Gaming?
3 of your teammates get taken down. Oh, M249 on top of that. Full Rambo right now. Right here, right now.
Full send coming on in. He's got the gun, but Chico's got the DBS. The shotgun. Spec's got to play this carefully. Oh, Knights are completely full reset. All the way up. Spec trying to pull off a Frozen. He doesn't have a rock. He's got a broken wall. He gets one. He's going to go for the thirst. Got him. Takes away 1 point. This is kind of a little bit of a throw from the Knights, in my opinion. They should have played this much more conservatively, not made any risks. Spec goes for the laydown, but the jump shot there from Coops shuts him down. So if I were the Knights, you know, I think that that's something that you still have to look at because you did get the full reset off. Play it slow, right? Play it slow. Don't put yourself in a position to get thirsted just like that because you want all 4 players up towards the end.
I'm real curious. Where does Ghost go now? Sanhok, though, right? Like, just looking ahead. They got pushed out of Paradise from S2G. We saw them yesterday do this 2-2 split in Pine Inn. Now the Knights taking advantage of that one right there. Where do we go, right? If you are kind of pushed out of all your drop spots, and that's something that they're going to have to be thinking about.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where they opt to go. Oh, wow. Driving all the way around here. Footballist. What a crazy, awkward play that was. Next, Rhea. Looks like they ended up still in a decent position here. Cooter off that off angle. Still trying to catch up on this one. Lavazid going to catch Yekta with the drive up. I mean, man, this new run over strategy that we've really seen come up, I mean, it's become so dominant, especially in Sanhok.
As they pop back in their vehicle, just casually drive off after acquiring 2 points. So okay in the front line. It is Sunday, about 50%
Frozen
HP. Frozen from behind, looking to get that revenge play. There, ran over teammates. Okay, doing a good job of keeping Kudora pulled down though, or pinned down that is. Frozen 1v2. We're still driving circles out
here. Frozen in Sanhok.
on?
Frozen in Sanhok. Oh, Rob with the sit down. That was a crazy. If Frozen would have won that 1v1, he would have gotten 3 for Footballist. Instead, he's going to go out with only 1 point under their belt. What an interesting finish there from next to S2G. They heard these shots. Yeah, they heard these shots, and that's the problem with Sanhok, is in any fight you get into, you know that third party's coming.
Okay, what's going on? They're actually pulling off of this just a little bit. Looked like they were going to be pushing on in, but look at this. You're talking about third party. This is the fourth party. A7 from that west side, spotting out that push across the terrain from S2G, looking to take advantage of the Footballists who are currently healing up after that last fight. Taking shots at S2G.
And then Furious Gaming looks to be in this one as well. They did get the knock right there on the Footballist. So that's over there in Quarry. So I think this is what we're going to see, especially in Sanhok. I mean, it's just a full-on party, baby. Everybody's getting into the action here.
Not my type of party, though.
What's that?
When everybody gets UC.
Chips? Oh,
everybody gets UC.
Yes,
Guac and chips. You already know
party
it.
favors.
Everybody in the chat gets UC. Put ones in the chat right now. Let's go. Zute is going to be providing the UC. So, getting back to this game, though. Real interesting. Everybody kind of fighting for this position, Hot Chips. I think because it is so center, very center spot right here in this first circle.
Well, you can just see everyone's just centered up, shooting and poking at each other right now, just causing some noise. I think that's a trend that we're going to see in Sanhok up until the finals. I think finals time we'll see a whole different kind of play style. Everyone playing super careful. But right now, a lot of teams already know that they're making it to the finals, so they're just having fun, fragging out, and getting it in right there. Looks like the Mafioso from way downtown takes out a member here from the Black Dragons. And you look at this. He knew, like, let's just throw out a smoke just in case. But S2G heard those shots. And they're coming around the corner here. Black Dragons in big trouble. Look, I mean, look at that range. Insane. Oh, and Silas steals the kill away from Alpha 7. So S2G picking up a quick point.
And GC God kind of stuck right now by this boulder. They do have the support from their squad mates who probably calling for them to pull back. You know, you got the cover fire, you might as well pull back. But it looks like GC God's picking it around in the front lines with that UMP. Anticipating the push, the crest over the hill from S2G.
Just trying to buy some time, trying to keep the pressure up, trying to act as though you're more players than you really are. Because you do not want to get pressed up on. And look at Mafioso just poking from so far away with that 3x and hitting those. I mean, these guys have just like practically unlimited range with ARs. It's insane.
And now football is also showing up. We got A7, S2G, we got the Black Dragons. Football is furious, and only a matter of time before Aton and Rise also show up to the party for the center right here. Football is, though, I kind of like their position a lot better compared to everybody else because they do have that hard cover. But over here, somehow the Black Dragons just continuing to apply the pressure and the damage.
Catching and slipping. That's the most difficult part of Sanhok is no matter where you put yourself, you can always just get shot from some crazy angle. It's just that tight of a map. And you saw, you know, a player there thought he was safe right there too. You know, you try to peek that window, Timber takes you out real quick. And we're just seeing trades just happen all over the place here in the center of the map. Just trying to really hold the spot down. I mean, look at this. Look how many teams are here. And the zone shifts right here. We're gonna see the same fights happening over and over again.
Yeah, it's just going to continue to occur here. Just trades back and forth. Knight's going to be piling in here very shortly behind A7 possibly. GC God, though, thinking about cooking this grenade, possibly toss that one. If they get in the window in the door, S2G could go kaboom. S2G, though, vaulting out the backside.
Smart.
Looks like they're trying to evacuate the area, pull off here, and maybe now with the new circle, they're like, okay, we tried, boys. We tried to get involved early on. Let's go for some placement points. Maybe look for some heals. Maybe prepare for that mid to late game.
I think that's S2G just, you know, trying something different, trying that hyper aggression third party, and then just realizing, you know what? Time to cut our losses. You know, time to cut our losses.
Losing two.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and just reset and try to see what we can do late game. I think that's better a strategy come practice wise, you know, for the finals. Is when you have 2 up, still you got to be able to get towards that end game and get some points. So I think that's what S2G is doing. Unicorns of Love, you know, Zute, he had the prediction, right? Top 3 is what he said. Top 3 with heal strats. And I guarantee you that's probably what they're going to be doing here because they are way out of position. As a matter of fact, we're still players in the blue zone for Unicorns of Love, and they are looting everything. I guarantee you they're just picking up nothing but first aids already.
Just preparing for what's to come. The only thing that I can see really getting in their way is if Na'Vi catch whiff of them out there still going for that loop, because Na'Vi are going to be wrapped around the blue right there on the edge down there towards the south. And Na'Vi, last game, ton of kills, Hot Juice. So they are definitely feeling it here. Na'Vi also might run into SMB, who are taking a lot of time out there, not in the next zone, taking their sweet time, making up that game plan. So we'll keep everybody up to date as things seem to have sizzled out here just a little bit after the nonstop mayhem in the first 10 minutes of the game.
It's like Thanksgiving dinner, Dave. You know, you walk up the plate, you just load it all up, you get all ready to go, and then you just realize, I got too much, you know? I got just a little bit too much. Eyes were too big, or your stomach. So I think these players realize that, and now it's time to just, you know, sit back on the lazy boy and just rest up, get ready for round 2.
Hey, where's my invite, man? It sounds like a nice dinner party you're throwing. Oh, these boys.
Food for everybody.
Food for everybody out here. And looks like Na'Vi going to be taking the same rotational path here that SMB just previously took. We saw them move over that bridge a couple moments ago. Might have some action. Yep.
Oh.
With the Ronnie drive-by.
Na'Vi, okay. Oh, and the eliminated? That I thought that he was going to be able to get that res off, but instead, Matic does go and get finished there. That's unfortunate on the rotation from Na'Vi. I thought that he had cover. Not sure how he just got deleted that quickly. Supermassive Blaze looking to continue this gatekeep for now. But with so much distance, I doubt we'll see a push either or. I think that they really should prioritize where they're going to go in the next circle rather than this fight.
And the thing is that is really interests me, at least, is that Unicorns of Love, don't forget about them, right? They're in the blue. We don't even see them on the map right here. It looks like they might have pulled up near Cave, but they're definitely going to be hearing these shots here eventually, and they might look to third party if they feel like it's the correct move to do. We saw an XO go up too, a little up there towards the northern end. A couple teams down here in the south near Corey are going to need to reposition. So we're gonna get some action here brewing up once again.
Oh yeah, zone number 3 is hidden up. We'll catch a couple teams rotating. I don't think we'll see teams in the center fight it out really. I think they'll just still continue to kind of hold it down. But then once the next circle hits, circle 4, oh, the action's gonna start almost immediately.
And then circle 5, you guaranteed action. And talk about action, Duke and Machine.
MG3
press the situation. This is Coops though. MG3 in hand, the pea shooter. That thing just rips. Well, looks like the grenade. Oh, the molly. Duke and Machine running away on fire right there. Still alive somehow.
Holding it down for now. Chico's got that nade locked and loaded though, and that looks perfectly placed. Duke and Machine down, dude. So quickly, well done there from Chico. Furious Gaming, they're hearing these shots very close by. They may try to catch this third party. But you gotta watch out though, because Coops has the MG3. That is the best gun in the game. Oh, Na'Vi, full send?
Na'Vi, yeah, just
full send?
Casually driving through the town, pulling up onto the Na'Vi here. Hello, Na'Vi, showing up. Oh, takes
what?
With the UMP spray down. But it wasn't enough. The pull up, the send, didn't work out as they planned, Hot Jukes.
It's a birds of plane, it's Na'Vi, dude. And the Na'Vi just getting eliminated there. Kitsune is the last one up. I think they possibly handed off all their heals to him. I think that they were just feeling themselves so good after that last match. They're like, you know what, bro? Let's just send it, dude. Is that when the momentum meter is too real? When it gets too hot? Is that what happens?
I think it's still up there. I think it's still up there, honestly. After last game's performance, they could definitely afford to take the L here this game.
But let me ask you this, Dave. Can you have too much momentum?
No.
No?
Nope. Never enough momentum out there, honestly, Hot Jukes. If you ask people who really know about momentum on one of them, you can never have enough. You can never have enough.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, Na'Vi, apparently, according to the Mustache Dave momentum meter, still have a high threshold of it.
Because imagine if they won that. Imagine if they won that. All right? That's just additional momentum off of their last game performance. So you can lose momentum, but you can never have enough momentum.
Right you are, Dave.
And they might get a top finish still because they got somebody healing, right? So you could definitely heal on Sanhok from 12th to 3rd to 2nd place if you really know how to hit them heals, if you know how to smash some buttons, if you know how to loot, scoot, and heal at the same time. You can get push points all day. So they still got the potential for the momentum.
You're gonna hit that button, hit that like button if you're watching this right now. Get hyped because we're about to hit circle number 4, and just like that, it's like a gunshot into the air. The race is on to get into this next zone. Next circle has on all the way over to Bond. So you got Alpha, 7, Furious Game, and almost every single team here are out of position, and they're having to full send it across the map with only 10 seconds left to go.
Yeah, a little straight up 2v2. Oh, riding up. Oh, did we get the bike run over? No. Wow, right there at the end. So close to the last second sidestep right there. You don't really see bike run overs. So that would have been something else.
That's super rare. Super rare. I mean, so fast, so furious. Alpha 7 trying to pull out the highlight plays here. Instead of using that bike, though, they're going to have to hoof it into this next zone. And Papa Blue's coming, and he's coming fast because they are on the thick side of this circle. So they are just trying to send it on here. S2G does go down. Silas tries to jump out of that building and has to run right back in here because Black Dragons, they are just beaming and ready to pre-fire that door the second he even peeks out.
Talk about beaming. I really want to point out Rise and Knights. They are on the edge out here towards that west side, and I think they're in a nice position to gatekeep a couple of these squads currently running their way into the zone. So keep an eye on them in the kill feed. I know Knights only have 3 up, but I feel like they can really capitalize and rack up some kill points or elim points here.
Dude, I gotta give it to Unicorns of Love too, because they have like the worst position trying to get into this circle. But with this hard shift and with how they wrapped, they're actually in a great spot for this one. So it's gonna be cool to see where they end up on the map here. Footballists gonna get into it with Supermassive Blaze. The Knights putting some pressure on as well. So this side of the split is completely thirsted and done. So that's gonna leave only 2 up for them. Rom from Footballists is full sending it in here, eating a whole bunch of blue zone damage. And he's going to have to eat a whole lot more because look how fast Papa Blue is moving away from him.
Yeah, just playing from the blue on Sanhok, we can see him chunking down just a little bit here, but the pressure, the additional pressure, while being fired upon from enemies. And GC God, okay, looking to make some moves here. Talk about in the blue. Salas hoofing it, trying to run away, trying to get that quick flick through the window. Couple shots, but GC God looking for that loot real quick, looking for them heals to continue their mission.
Here's the problem though, right? Zone 4 does hurt, but once it pops, that circle, new circles pops, that zone starts really chunking it down. I think players are starting to realize that, or they do realize it, but they are feeling it now. Next circle goes on up. Bond is going to be the place to party at. Besiktas still up there in this circle. Fenerbahce and Unicorns of Love all have really good positions. Oh yeah, Baluk Chopdown are going to be pushing right down onto Besiktas here in a second. But we're seeing a whole bunch of gatekeeping from this blue zone due to this hard shift.
I'd be surprised if Baluk just kind of snake it out, be a sneaky snake right behind Besiktas and let them be their bodyguards and try to acquire some points because this could be a huge game for Baluk when we're talking about the overall
can't touch blue. Oh, can't touch blue. Carrillo's going to barely get this first aid off and full send it on in. Going to eat a little bit more blue damage here. He is fully boosted. He's gonna, and he does take out by himself both Xenox and Chico. I want to see that replay coming up here. But then, as the running is happening, he does go down. So now we're seeing eliminations like crazy. You look at the right, we're just seeing players just getting knocked off. So many teams rocking 2-man solos, just trying to stay alive. Besiktas trying to stop the pressure from Baluk Chopdown. Baluk Chopdown wanting to put in some more points on the board. Besiktas killing it this super weekend. Can they continue that momentum?
Nice smoke, though, from Baluk, blocking those sight lines to allow them to pull back and work their way up this hill that's going to be overlooking the compound that Besiktas are holding down. So really do appreciate that micro play. And talk about micro plays will Rise out here. I see Gary just kind of casually driving by, looking for a run over potentially, but Mythic in the front line is trying to toss these grenades, followed by Nunez's grenade, and here comes Gary with the pull-up.
Gary, the legend, anchor in his eyes, blood in his mouth. This man is ready to get into it. Eats a little bit of fire, says no problem. Eat this grenade, baby. Boom. And there they go. Aton out of there. And Gary drives off into the sunset.
Business as usual.
He's taking his teammate. He's taking his teammate.
What?
He is driving the buggy on him and moves Mufasa to safety. Gary built different. Gary busting out the winch on the buggy. He busted out the winch, Dave.
Only Gary. Oh, like, this is the only things Gary could do at this point. And huge fight right here. Baluk, they could use these points. But Besiktas, they have been popping off here this Super Weekend. Both these teams, we keep stressing it, they missed Super Weekend number 2. They're looking to acquire as many points as possible Super Weekend right now.
Luke holding it down, playing it passive, just flipping that switch. Trying to play it a little bit more carefully. Besiktas, like you mentioned, on fire. Gary in the buggy, pops on out. Trying to find his rock, trying to find the position. Rest of his team goes down, but Gary's still alive. Now you gotta keep an eye on Rise whenever Gary's in the game. Gary trying to get it done. Reyes goes down to a nade. Besiktas in a really good position here. And Unicorns of Love, Dave. It looks like Zute predicted right.
We'll see. 5 more teams to go. Luke trying to survive down there. Once again, Gary coming in clutch, picking up
full
Mufasa for the second time. They are going to be right there on the edge of this next circle. And they have a nice position up on this hill, but Enjoy with the lean peak with the UMP going to be taking a lot of damage, going to be running on in.
He's going down to blue.
Needs one more shot to possibly seal the deal. Not looking like they'll be able to get that done.
And it looks like Unicorns of Love have already secured a top 3 finish, but they didn't need to do any healing here, as they are going to be set up very pretty. So there they go out in exactly 3rd place. The prediction rings true there from Zute. And now it's all Rise, baby. Here they go. They lost their man. They lost their man, the myth, the legend, Gary. But Gary already did enough. Rise winning the match. Game number 4. Sanhok, let's go.
Give it to Rise, you know. Give it to Rise. MVP Gary all day. MVP Gary. Getting those pickups. I believe, getting 2 pickups onto their teammates to get that reset towards the end. But we were kind of talking about it. I think this was a really big moment for Buluk, who we mentioned they did not play Super Weekend number 1. They have been kind of struggling a little bit, some would say. Personally, I think they're doing just fine as they are in that mid-pack. But for them to get the 2nd place here, 12 placement points, that's a feels-good moment here, especially on Sanhok.
That's a feels-good moment for them big time. And I'll tell you what, it's a feels-bad moment for teams like Team Gesso and Exet, you know, because those are the teams that are looking straight at them because they had not even made it into 1 Super Weekend. How is that possible? I have no clue. But, you know, it's a great game for Baluk Chapdan, as well as, you know, Besiktas still in that top finishing, still putting up crazy points this Super Weekend. I mean, what is going on with this team? What sparked their momentum meter? Because they're on fire.
They are. But we kind of talked about it last game, and I know we're watching these pretty sick highlights from the early game fight. But Besiktas, they've been popping off here. You know, you posed the question, can you qualify with only 1 Super Weekend played? Maybe. Remember, top 16 is the goal. So, although before I would have said Team Queso and Xset, you know, it's a GG, I think after watching Besiktas' performance this Super Weekend, there is that small shimmer of hope still for teams who didn't play yet in the Super Weekends, in my opinion. It's going to be tough, but it just might be crazy enough to work.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's only going to get tougher and tougher in the last Super Weekend because teams are definitely not going to have anything to lose at all. So, crazy plays that we saw here in this Sanhok match. A lot of just, you know, this mid-range, long-range shots. You peek just for even a second, and you're going to get taken out the lot. Look at this, through the grass, minimal sight lines, just crazy shots. Look at that, laid down all day.
Definitely a roller coaster of emotions this game. First 10 minutes, non-stop action. Then we had about 3 minutes of just quiet peace. And then this play. Yeah, Knights, they were taking the fight with Fenerbahce, and then don't forget, Na'Vi sent 2 in a buggy, just showing up, showing up late to the party and trying to make a name for themselves here.
Silas with the good old trap laid there on Doug. Oh, Rollkiss just driving on the moped, dude. Just trying to get a cappuccino, and he gets capped right at his head-o, right? Yeah, that's
we need a rule. If you're on the Vespa, if you're on the moped, that's a free pass. You're obviously by yourself. You're just vibing. You're just trying to get from point A to B. You're not hurting anybody.
Sandals on.
Sandals on. You're just a smile on your face, enjoying the fresh air on Sanhok. I think you gotta let him ride. Just let him go by. Give him the pass.
Let him be, dude. Let him be. You can see here more shots going on there. That's going to be the end of Alpha 7 going down. Fortunately, not catching that Carrillo play against the Knights. That would have been crazy to see. Rise putting in some work, taking out Fenerbahce there. And then this is when this Rise just started rising, dude. Gary pulling out the plays, getting the runovers. And I'm going to call that a tactical throw, like a tactical feed for Gary, because he got everybody up, got it done. And then Gary sacrificed himself to rally his squad, for them to be able to finish it off. I mean, just
Jukes,
1,000
that
IQ.
runover though. That runover right there. There was a snake in the grass about 5 feet away. Gary said, "Nah, I'm not gonna shoot my gun. I'm just gonna get in my buggy and get the runover." That right there. That's a Gary play if I've ever seen one. But let's see what the desk got to say about that Sanhok game.
First thing I gotta say is I chose Rise yesterday for Sanhok, and they go and win this one. It's just, oh man, delayed success, I guess. The second thing is, though, I agree with Dave. I feel like this match was definitely roller coasters of emotions. I mean, Zute, Knights making sure the ghosts aren't anywhere near them, Navi going and crashing, even the end there, a bunch of teams fighting. Yeah.
So shout outs to Rise. Great job. Brazilian team, Sanhok, once again, right? Happens a lot. But Luke, they needed some points. This is their only super weekend, and they got 15. That was really good from them. And then I think the third big thing is that 16th place position for Ghost Gaming. This is big because this is Ghost Gaming already leaving Paradise to go to a secondary drop that is open, okay? This is Xset's old drop location. The Knights had no reason to really go up there to contest them, but even the Knights don't want them that close. So this is kind of big. This is a big storyline developing as far as Sanhok and Ghost Gaming goes. But Mythic out of Rise, man, 1,114 damage on Sanhok. You don't really get to farm damage on Sanhok unless if you're fighting life or death. So Mythic, 1,114. That is insane, Glitter.
Yeah, and you can see there it's almost 50% of the team contribution as well. So massive work being put in by Mythic as we take a look at the rankings. After this last match, things haven't changed too much with the exception of Unicorns of Love making a little bit of a jump up here for themselves above Fenerbahce, keeping themselves in a top 8 position. This is just the super weekend for this weekend. These are the rankings as they stand right now, and you can see Football is obviously up there at the top, still holding on. Ghost will drop down after that performance there, but everything else still relatively the same. Black Dragons make a little bit of a leap. I'm still keeping my eyes on Baluk Chaptan. Like you were saying, they needed to get some more points. They were able to get a decent amount here in this last Sanhok match, so now they've got one more game at their disposal that they can get some points on the board and set themselves up well for next time.
Jeez, and also, I guess that's interesting now that there isn't that much movement. I guess that really means is that these teams definitely are figuring each other out this super weekend. The next thing that they have to do is, I guess, have just an insanely big game. That's the only thing that's going to launch them up that leaderboard, even though I feel like we've seen that from a couple of teams. Then right away, just the right next match, somebody else goes on ahead and launches themselves out. So everybody just keeps balancing quite interestingly enough. And I feel like that perfectly kind of segues into our next chat question, actually. I want to ask it in 2 ways, though. The first one is, well, the question is just which team do you think will surprise at the last minute? I think this is a good question to ask just straight up for this last match, but also in regards to starting next league play as well.
Okay, for this last match, Supermassive Blaze. I remember in like the very first day they had a huge game. And I remember it because Span told me she was a fan, and she was like, Papa Ra, and I was like, that is very cute. Who are they? And they had a huge game. But ever since then, they really kind of just haven't really shown up. So if there is a surprise to be had, it would be Supermassive Blaze.
Okay.
Glitter, anybody that's going to surprise you in this last match or even next league play as well?
I don't know if they will, but I am certainly hoping that they do. I'm looking at Fenerbahce. I need them to be my big surprise here because they definitely need a little bit of a pick-me-up.
Okay, I think both of those answers are actually really good, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen in this last match. First of all, though, we're going to go ahead and jump into a little bit of a break before we get into that last match on Erangel, so don't go anywhere, y'all. There's one more left today.
For this flame path, going from Primals all the way up to just between Severity and Star. Hang on a minute. I don't think carpooling is a thing in PMGC. To the side, get to the tree. That's your cover.
Get over here!
And get your teammate involved.
I don't know. I feel like this is a painful situation if you're Satar. Let's see if he has any tricks up his sleeve. This guy's got the moves. He's got the moves. He's got the PMGC outfit. He looks clean. He's right up at the top of the car.
I'm gonna need backup. Who's gonna go in now?
Magic Man himself, Satar. But in comes another player to try and what for, and this time, oh, he's got a gun. Okay, yeah, there's not a lot you can do. I mean, dodging cars is one thing.
I saw the first light, the first steps. Now I see much more. I capture Earth in all its beauty. I see action. I see drama. And I see it in the finest detail. Moments of inspiration and the first steps. I am the 1+9.
Welcome back, PMGC West Super Weekend 2. There's only one game left before it's going to go on ahead and end it off today. This, of course, is completely past the halfway point at this point to get those Super Weekend points. So, oh man, this last match, I feel like there's a lot that weighs on it, Zute, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, it's the last one, and I said it earlier. The one team with the most amount of pressure is Baluk. They have the most catching up to do out of all the teams playing right now. So after today's performance, the teams that didn't get to play, that's missing one Super Weekend, well, they're going to be looking at exactly how much points Baluk got, and there might be targeting happening in the next week during the league play because of it.
Ooh, yeah, you're not wrong, actually. I feel like a couple of those teams kind of towards the bottom are definitely going to be targeted in the league play, especially by those teams that haven't been in both league play. I wonder if they're going to take this as their opportunity to go ahead and kind of potentially choose who's getting in the Super Weekend and therefore kind of getting in the top 16.
Yeah, Glitter, dude. Look at these damage numbers, Glitter. Mythic with 1,114 on Sanhok. Remember, this is a Sanhok. You're not farming damage long range. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I was looking at Chico there because now while Knights might have gone out early, they were able to secure 9 elims in that last game, and Chico and Coops both being up there for top damage is huge for Knights, showing that once again, every single player on Knights is able to contribute there, and then of course most throwables on the list there as well. But the Sanhok in general, I was actually really impressed with those Knights numbers.
I don't disagree as well. I mean, you ended up choosing them and they ended up not getting that win, but they feel like another thing that we got to talk about is their consistency. They've been consistent on a lot of these maps. Same with a couple of other teams that I want to go on ahead potentially list off. But just really quickly, before we go on ahead and get into our predictions though, got to go on ahead and shout out the thing to climb the leaderboards. Clearly the Knights use this potentially, the 1+9 and 9 Pro. At least they should be, because with flagship performance and immersive 120Hz display and hypertouch technology made specifically for gamers, the 1+9 and 9 Pro are your best shot to go on ahead and climb that leaderboard. I mean, I feel like it's very clear at this point that all those consistent teams using that to go on ahead and do their best. But the next thing I just want to bring up just immediately is in this last match, we just gotta do the predictions. And I'm kind of curious, y'all. You guys already answered the question, which team do you think will surprise at the last minute? Are the teams that you answered going to be the teams that you're going to go ahead and predict? Do you want to start it off, Zute?
No, I'm not gonna put Supermassive Blaze as my pick. I'm sorry, that's just how it goes. But I am switching from Na'Vi, and no, I'm not going back to Alpha 7. I'm gonna go with Rise because Gary, I mean Hot Jukes, I mean we saw it that last game. Gary stepped in fire for his team. Gary got up close and personal, threw the grenade in to take out the enemy team, and then not only that, Gary got in the buggy when the rest of the Rise members ran away from the blue zone. Gary picked up his down teammate with the buggy and slowly inched him in. Like, Gary is the hero we don't deserve, but the hero we need. So, shout outs to Gary, shout outs to Rise. That's my pick.
Okay, Glitter, how about you?
All right, well, if Zute is going to jump off of Na'Vi, then I'm going to jump on board with Na'Vi. Pick them for the last game of the day here. I mean, yesterday, they had back-to-back Erangel chicken dinners. Okay, the last 2 Erangels of the day was when they got their wins. Hopefully they're able to close out today strong.
Okay, and for me, I'm actually going to go ahead and go with Footballist, because taking a look at the overall Super Weekend stats, we already know that S2G have 5 winner-winner chicken dinners. The next team that's the closest is Footballist. Right now, they have 3 in entirety, I believe. So, like, if they get this next one, they're going to be the next closest. So that's who I'm going to go ahead and go with. I will say as well, Zute, at this point, I feel like you're very predictable. First, just choosing A7 all the time, and now just choosing the team that, like, did something cool in the game before. I see you. Very predictable. Come on, man. But
I'll be honest, all right? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. I did not catch it.
What? Well, we're going
take
to the
away.
game.
Go.
There we go. Take it away, Jukes Dave. We got to recover.
Don't worry, guys. I got you covered. I'm going to explain what he's doing here. Dave, I'm just going to say it out front, bro. The second I introduced the Mustache Dave momentum meter, right? Zute does all his picks based off that meter. Coincidence? I think not, Dave. What do you think?
Oh, I think you're onto something, and honestly, I think that's just how we should live our lives from now on. If the mustache meter is maximum, just go with it. Go with it. And talking about sending it, talking about going with it, I'm looking at Buluk. I know they ask our picks every time. I'm going with Buluk because this is the last game of Super Weekend number 2. Their first Super Weekend. Last game, second place. This game, I feel first place coming, Hot Jukes. I feel it.
Oh, baby.
I feel it.
Oh, I feel it too, dude. I'm going with Buluk as well because in my eyes, that is the team that's got the most to lose. And I like an underdog story, but oh, look at this. First kill going on down. Unicorns of Love going to be picking up that one. Illin getting some killing done. Love to see that. First one on the day here, on the last game, actually. Beautiful start. But when it comes to the momentum meter, dude, I mean, Zute, right? This guy is an experienced IGL, right? Ex-professional pro player. Dude's all about the data, right? Looking at the numbers. And so once he got that new Mustache Dave momentum, oh, please. Oh, okay, sorry. I was like, glider all day. Come on.
What is that?
What are you doing?
They're 3 in a 3-seater bike. Like, you have to assume the glider's the play. But they didn't.
And that's going to be their fall. That is going to be their fall for sure. Look at this.
They're probably going to lose.
Yeah, I think so. If you don't get the glider when it's that free, then you are going to be deleted. I think that's how it works. I think that's the rhyme. Reset is going to be fighting Chico here in a 1v1 if Alucard don't jump down. Alucard's going to wait his time. Down, finally gets the hop down 2v1. Well done.
So I was curious. I know PUBG Mobile, they have the carry feature competition going on the social medias. Make sure you go hit up PUBG Mobile on Twitter and apply for it. I think they're looking for your best carry moment. Do we have that here? Like, why don't we see that yet, man? I want to see that. I want to see players get knocks and carrying them somewhere. Or is that 2BM? Maybe it's 2BM.
I want to see it, dude. I want to see that suplex down to get the finish. That will be crazy. Honestly, I've been waiting to see that carry feature used in comp. And I'm just waiting for it. Speaking of waiting for it, Xenox is waiting for a vehicle, dude. This guy is on the run. I mean, not a gun. Yeah, no weapon. He's got 10 bandages and 1 drink. But
nice hat.
I mean, he needs to use that phone right up on top of his head, dude, and make the call, dude.
Call his teammates.
Say, yo, I need a pickup. Oh, speaking of pickup, yeah, Tigger's in big trouble. Rollkiss got the nade up there. Oh, holds it down there. Uzi, CQC, the nade's coming up. Gotta be careful. Oh, it gets beat up really well, but somehow stays alive. Pre-molly. Doesn't look good, though. And he goes down there.
Everybody's on fire from Unicorns of Love.
Fresh.
Okay, and if you weren't on fire, just go get on fire again. Oh, had to, though, because GK First was almost dead. Woo! So Fresh, talk about the teammate award right there. Definitely has to go out to them. There is, on that note, there is a medic award being given out. $2,000, if I'm not mistaken, from this tournament. Most average number of rescues. That's how you get that. So, hey, that right there, that's how it's done.
I'll tell you what. I mean, if you're willing to run through the fire to be able to pick up your teammate, I think that's an automatic W right there, you know? That's the way to do it.
Before all that happened, you were kind of talking about the momentum meter in Zute now, kind of making all his bold predictions off
Absolutely.
Of that.
I mean, look, Zute is an experienced IGL. He knows this game. He's always looking at the data. So once he identified the new stat, right, the Mustache Dave momentum meter, you know, he got that new data in, and he's just applying it, Dave. He's just applying it here at the start, and so I don't blame him.
That's how he gets. How does the glitter Damus work, though? That's what I've been trying to figure out. Where does that come from? Like, those insights.
If I told you, I can't say it. Can't say it.
So you know.
That's top secret information, Dave.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
But come on, dude. Come on. You can tell me.
That's too powerful. It's too powerful.
You can tell me.
You know what,
I used to have a crystal ball, but it stopped working on me. And
how'd you lose it? How'd you lose it, Dave?
No, it lost me, right? It lost me. Too many predictions I made based off that thing, and they were just wrong.
Did Glitter find it, or did Glitter steal it?
That's why I'm asking you. I haven't seen it.
I didn't. Hey, I didn't see nothing. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, I didn't see nothing.
I thought you were my boy.
Hey, dude, you know what? I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. What can I say? What can I say? It is what it is, dude. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Ghost!
We're getting messages that we gotta talk about it, so I'm gonna talk about this. Ghost, it was yesterday. They looted and they went to go on top of the mountain, and I believe footballists were waiting for him, and they took him out. They deleted him. We talk about people getting deleted. They were deleted real quick. Looks like this time around, footballists kind of on the slow end, and Ghosts will be taking up the mountain a little quicker than yesterday. But it looks like we might have a rematch for this mountain, so it's going to be interesting.
Run it back. Everest is the goal, is the prize of this battle. And HH24 is going to be leading it up for Ghost. Just trying to get some angles, trying to catch it. Rom using that TPP peak just to make sure that Ghost isn't coming here. So I wonder if this is a battle that we're going to see happen often. I think HH24 and Ghost realize it. That's why they're playing so passive here. They've done the research. They know where Footballers wants to go. And they're saying, you know what? We'll just hang up right here for now and share for the time being and maybe catch a third party because S2G is very, very close to Footballers as well. So is Furious Gaming.
So we got 3 stalemates. We got one on the Mount Everest between Footballers and Ghosts. We got one in Yasnaya between Besiktas and Knights. And then another one in North George between Alpha 7 and Navi. So 3 separate stalemates occurring right now on the map that I just wanted to inform you of, Hot Juice.
Well, now that I'm informed of that, my question is what? Like, what is Besiktas and the Knights doing in Yasnaya? This zone has shifted far away from it, and the clock has started to tick already. I'm surprised to see these teams even hanging out here. Maybe they're in a little bit of a both compromised positions and can't move. Either way, that's a unfortunate spot for both of them. Yeah, okay. Now they're far separated from each other. I don't know what they're doing here. Maybe they're just looking for first aids, meds. I don't know. Maybe Glitter Damas's crystal ball, perhaps? Glitter.
It wasn't just Naya. We got the whole time. Email that's where it is. So we're gonna be looking for it, or they're gonna be looking for it. There's a bounty on that one. So Navi and A7, that stalemate could go on a little longer because you know, obviously it is in circle number 1 compared to the Naya fight. SMB though, strolling up on this east bridge, trying to play this one a little safe. Gonna be rotating in just a little later than usual because they want to make sure to survive. Next zone goes up, also going up there towards the north shooting range. Hot Juice, I'm looking at it, and it is just wide open. If I'm Besiktas, I might try to investigate that area. If I'm Sun HP, I might try to scout that out because we've seen a lot of shooting range finishes here, and usually the first person to get inside is the victor.
If the zone does shift up north, I think the building right there across from crates, that little complex, that's going to be the prime spot in this zone because this zone could still shift south towards Everest. It could go up towards shooting range. And Dave, you hedged all your bets on shooting range. I mean, if the zone does go up there and you pick that spot, then Dave, the crystal ball is back. If not, Dave, and hate to say it, Dave, but I think it's gone from crystal ball to momentum meter.
I still got the momentum meter. I just got it today from the shop, custom order. So let me have something, Hot Juice, please.
Oh, dude, well that one's on fire. Okay, so that's brand new, fresh, and hot. When it comes to, or what I like to call hot and ready, Black Dragons, they're about to get lit up if they're not careful. Doing a full send. Looks like they're opting to take the shoreline here. The last remaining member, is he going to get popped out? No, Reyes and Baluk Chaptam opt to kind of hold their spot and try to play it quiet for now.
Yeah, Baluk have a lot more to lose, so I definitely understand why they don't take these shots. They don't want to alert the enemy because although they see there's a team ahead of them, there's other squads going to be rotating through the area, right? And the last thing that Baluk want right now is to get third party and get taken out in 16th position, which is 0 points. That is worst case scenario. And talk about worst case scenario. Looks like Coops was watching Gary last game have fun in their buggy. Coops pulling up this game in a buggy themselves.
Oh, there goes Coops. Yep, MVP Coops. Of course, another belated.
Like 2 days ago?
That's right, another belated happy birthday there for Coops. So he's still on birthday mode vibes. And he's looking to get some shots here. Gets the spray. Actually clips Zessie just a little bit, but Zessie is going to be able to get away. So finally, it's so crazy to see them on such a very late rotation, in my opinion. But the Knights are playing the edge. Maybe looking to mix things up a bit. They have 2 kills so far, so a good start for them.
Yeah, and the duo alive for Besiktas, they are super separated. I think right now the plan is, hey, we lost 2 early on. It happens. Let's just go our separate ways and try to survive. Besiktas, at the end of this game, Hot Jukes, I don't care who you are, you have to just respect the team. You have to respect the grind that they put on this weekend. Like, they showed up this super weekend, and they capitalized on the fact of playing in this lobby. 11th place, only playing 1 super weekend, while other teams below them have 15 more games. That right there, Besiktas, hats down to you. You did a great job, so don't even care if they get taken out right here. Like, they just had a phenomenal weekend.
Oh, man, hats down, hats off, dude. I mean, it's so crazy to see that performance. It's honestly unthinkable. And they had just fragged out all super weekend long here. And it's totally possible that they can qualify just with 1 super weekend alone. Something I thought that was almost impossible at this high level. But they have proven to just make some crazy noise here. The Knights pushing on to Aton. Full send. As a matter of fact, getting a little bit of a bit of a pinch right there. Talk about getting pinched, right? Choco. Ooh, that one hurt.
The road rage out here. I'm looking at Besiktas real quick just to kind of end it off. 64 kills this weekend, 101 placement points. So they definitely like their placement points compared to Footballists with 95 kills this weekend. So
wow.
Footballists, man, yeah, they got 95 kills with 85 placement points out of the 14 games. So, man, Footballists, they've been taking the fight to everybody here this week.
Footballist. Crushing
Oh,
it.
and look at that position. South George,
Oh.
too. I like that a lot.
Straight to South George, so fortunately, you know, shooting range isn't going to be the finish.
The Knights, they didn't get the memo. They believed in it like I did.
They did. They did. You know what? They got some kills, so it doesn't hurt so bad. Maybe they were hunting for kills. That's what it was. But when it comes to placement, you're going to have to move your butts on over to Georgia Pole, and I'm so happy for this finish. I am hoping for a urban city finish. I either want North George, South George, or Crates. I don't care. I want to see some crazy CQC toxicity. Please, Zone, make it happen.
And what's real interesting is the positions that Na'Vi on that north end are currently holding down. They're all separated for the time being. Looks like they're looking for that perfect spot to call home, that sweet spot here. And I don't know. I think although this zone heavily favors the south, I think it's still a solid toss-up on which way it goes next circle shift. I feel like it can go either way still, north or south.
It definitely can. So you're going to have to hedge your bets and figure out where it is going to go. That building right there, the compound right across that bridge is still wide open. I'm so surprised to see it because it's such a dominant position. Besiktas Zessi creeping on crawling, trying to be able to get some extra placement points. And we're just seeing teams right now just getting prepared and trying to predict where this next circle is going to go. Because if it hard shifts north or south, oh man, is it going to be insane. A7 are still the only real squad that is up there, up top in the north, except for, it looks like Aton? Yeah, it looks like we got a member of Aton in the water.
In the water. I think 2 members, maybe 1. But I wanted to go to the Georgia Pool Bridge. I talked about the bridge earlier on.
Oh my gosh.
This might be the bridge game. Let's see. A couple moments to go. Blue Zone going to show us the next circle. Ghost Gaming do look like they were the ones to take the top of the hill. Knights trying to rotate through here, but Na'Vi set up. Alucard.
Kitsune in the blue zone, picking up both of them, catching the Knights slipping. I mean, it kind of makes sense because I don't think they would have assumed a couple players are just chilling all the way up in the blue zone, but Kitsune had the idea. So the circle is going to shift on to Crates. Okay. So it does look like, unfortunately, that Georgia Pool Bridge area, I would have loved to see that. North George
I don't
and
have the
South
crystal ball.
George.
That's what I'm saying. Those are 2
that's what it
zones
is.
in a row.
Choose the opposite then, Dave, please.
Oh, man. Well, Jukes, let's see. S2G, dead center, but right now, the eyes, the mayhem on Crates. This is what you wanted.
Dude, Crates, the best drop spot of old, dude. Back in the day, back in my day, right? Crates was the spot to get big loot. So all these players are going to know this area so well. And then look at the action. So many teams, players, full sending it on in. Fenerbahce getting in big trouble there. Nox Bomb going to be the one up for them. And he is about to get full sent on by Rise. Gary Nunez leading the charge. As we see a couple of Rise members get rezzed in the back. But it does look like they decide to hold off for just a second, opting to play a little extra careful in case another team tries to push up on them.
Yeah, they do have a vehicle, too, kind of wedged between a couple of these crates. I would be really interested to see if they use that vehicle to maybe situate it to block something up the sight lines. But for the time being, this is pretty dead center. Will they look to push out and take out that solo for Fenerbahce? Well, that's a question that we'll find out here very shortly, because down on the opposite end, got him. It's like Unicorns of Love going to be pulling in. Oh, did they end up getting him?
Yeah, Nunez with the nade ends up catching them. So there they go. Fenerbahce is out of this one. First team out in the last match here of Super Weekend number 2. Footballists at Alpha 7. Now getting into some action as Alpha 7 had to push far away from this one. You can see Lutz with the pre-fire. It's only him up, and he jumps down, gets one, but immediately gets thirsted immediately after. So 15th place is going to be it for Footballists in the last match here. Alpha 7 still up and running.
Yeah. And we talked about Footballists and their aggression, their ability to really get a lot of kill points here this weekend. Talking about kill points, Supermassive Blaze. Going to be some kill points to their opponents out here on that very interesting rotation in that Dacia. Last effort right there, last second decision to rotate, just not working out for him. But Rise, I'm really curious to see what Rise can do here. on this position. It has some nice cover, but when you tend to peek out, you have to assume there's going to be somebody looking at you. And in particular, I know it's kind of far down there to the south, but I'm really interested to see like what type of angles, what type of sight lines Ghost Gaming are holding down, because remember, they're on the mountain. So if they got a couple scopes, Hot Jukes, I don't know, maybe they could try to apply some damage out here.
Absolutely can. I mean, they are holding that ever side ever so carefully. Just playing it very... There's the map right there so we can see the positions. This next circle, wherever it pops, is going to be super huge. And it goes away from crates. Okay, this is horrible. This is honestly the worst because only a few crates are left in this circle. And this entire area of where the zone is, talk about no cover, no cover. Like, it is nothing but open field in this position.
We got Chico for the Knights. You got Zessie from Besiktas, and then Navi up there in the north. And A7, at least a duo, going to be pushing onto Baluk. Baluk, remember, they're looking to win this fight. They're looking to capitalize on this game, and already one of them taken down.
Oh my goodness, Alpha 7 just coming in so hot. Baluk Chaptan just weren't used to that type of pressure. And now they're stuck in the buildings. Nades coming in. They're forced to hit the deck. Senedexa pushes up a little bit too far for his own good, and he gets pieced up from another angle. So it is going to be just a duo from Alpha 7. It's going to be up to Madian to hold it down for Baluk Chaptan. He's going to go for the res, and it looks like he's going to be able to get it off.
And the thing is, this compound is not even in that.
Oh, not for now. Never mind. Here comes Revo. Full sending it on in.
Oh.
Pre-fire. Crazy pre-fire here, but yeah, Alpha 7, they're just going to wait it out. Revo said 1, 2, 3. All right, I'll go ahead and get you picked up now.
Talking about using all the bullets from the 249. Yeah, Revo's like, I'm not pushing that. Not going in there. And ooh, talk about pushing. Navi with the pull-up.
Gets it to lay down there. McHugh gonna full send it on in to a whole bunch of Nexruya waiting for him, and they are done and dusted. So Navi with the send, I think that was the play, but man, that is not the door you want to open.
Yeah, he had two options: go in the building or go into a little shack right there. And two members of Nexruya just in that shack. Just in there chilling. Yeah, wrong door for sure. Ghost Gaming though. Right back to them, right back to the position down here in the south. They did push downhill just a little bit from that mountain spot, and now they're just capitalizing on these kills. But Black Dragon is trying to make the second pull-up onto the Nexruya little compound, little building here. And Nexruya doing a great job at defending it so far.
Death Shack, that's what I'm gonna call it there. Man, that nade was very close from the Black Dragons onto Cooter. I think this one might be it. Can he thread the needle in through that window? Ooh, just a little too short. Not able to get the finish there. So Black Dragons are full sending it dead center very early. This is a very kind of difficult time to pick this spot because so many eyes are going to be onto you. But he's behind that buggy, laying down behind that little divot and just buying some time. Next circle is starting to close. It's about to pop here. We'll find out where it goes. And it goes back up north, right by crates, in the middle of the open. This is just the worst for these teams.
I do like how Unicorns of Love are trying to work as a unit, make their way through these crates, check every corner, make sure they're not going to get taken out by a surprise, as Fresh going to be peeking that one after toss that smoke immediately traded on, but pulling it back should be able to get the revive here. But they need to avoid these grenades. Mythic going to be tossing one, missing the mark. But I'm still looking at Rise, Hot Jukes. I really like this spot they're holding down.
And guess what? Rise was the squad that had the highest momentum on your momentum meter after that last game, Dave. So much so that Zute picked them to win this one, and they're in a really good spot here, Dave. Looking good.
Looking good. Let's see. They're going to have to defend it against Unicorns of Love and Furious. So two teams they got to defend against. Meanwhile, talk about defending their spot. Nexruya. They've been just chilling out here. I mean, this is a used car parking lot out here. Everything's smoking. I don't think anybody wants to push that at this point.
Shaq OP, Ghost are now forced to full send it on down. They got the vehicles, and they're going to be pressing right through to the Black Dragons. They're going to clear them out first, get those kills. It's just golden up. That's a nice nade there. Oh, instantly starting to spread out. It's Ghost, but Bayo runs right back into it. And now they're going to go for the res. So that was a good well-timed push. Ghost Gaming so good at understanding the time of when to push. And they were able to take out the Black Dragons with a little bit of time to spare to get everybody back up and then do this next push onto next Rhea.
Not only that, the Ghost Gaming, they have a little tiny dip to work with. Very, very tiny dip to work with that they can kind of just prone down, get them heals off, and get them resets going. So we'll see what they can do. But over here, Rise still in the crates, need to avoid these grenades.
Milo just causing some issues. It looks like Ghost from across the way was trying to get that knock there. That might be a beautiful nade there from Milo, and it does hit the mark of Mufasa. And you know, if he's got another one, he's going to have to throw it out here. The next zone's coming on down, so he's going to have to give away his position. Ghost are now forced to just crawl in, just try to get into the edge of this circle, and they're in. So Ghost are now safe in this next zone as they're waiting it on. S2G pressing, putting the pressure on to Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, Timber through the smokes right there with the suppressed Scar. Mythic gonna be on their knees once again. But Gary's still up. Gary's still alive. Gary listening to these sound cues. Gary looking to make some moves.
Gary OP, Gary, the legend. Nice nade from Mufasa, catches Big Milo, and Trigger goes down. So Furious Gaming eliminated Nunez. Getting the finish on that one. They said, Gary, stand back, dude. It's time for us to make something happen. And that's exactly what they're doing. Frozen with a beautiful nade onto Beowulf. Ghost forced to just full smoke and just try and survive. Next, Rhea are going to use that knock to apply some more pressure. Got the finish and caught Tensa as well. So now it's just Spec and HH24 up. Full snake trying to get some more placement points.
Yeah, and once when the grenades started to come out, we saw Spec and HH immediately start separating, immediately start going opposite directions to eliminate the potential to get the double knock like we saw right there in the middle. So we'll see what they can do. They're going to be definitely being that thorn in the side of next Rhea. And over here, S2G looking to maybe throw out a smoke wall across the road here, and Rise with the same exact game plan. I'm counting like 20 different smokes right now, Hot Juice.
Ooh, I mean, they're doing a full smoke wall because they have no choice. I mean, there's no coverage in this area besides those couple little buildings. Oh, nice play there from Ghost. Spec catching Frozen in the CQC. HH24 standing up, gonna have to hit the laydown. And now they go back to defense. This is what Ghost is so good at doing. Just deciding when to get aggressive, when to go passive. And they are both doing it at the same time together.
In the smokes, too. One grenade could seal the deal, but Kudor has been in this closet for about 10 minutes, so they know every single corner.
Spec got him!
Got him! Spec with the grenade, and now 3 teams to go in the final game of Super Weekend number 2.
Here we go, about to wrap things up here. We still got Ghost still alive. Mufasa from Rise is still up. Last one for them. And he's going to be holding this edge. Timber's going to be looking straight in that direction. I think he saw that one coming. Throws a nade right back at him, trying to catch the edge of that zone. And they do catch him. 7 gets the finish. So now it's just Ghost Gaming versus S2G. S2G pushing Ghost out of their homes in Sanhok. Can HH24 shut him down? Gets 1. And now it's a 1v1 situation. Servant versus HH24. HH24 half HP, gonna go for the res. Get this reset. Does HH24 go for Timber to get the finish? Get the point? I think he has to. He's looking for him.
The whole wraparound. The whole wraparound. 1v1. UMP versus M4.
Still got Timber there giving that information as well. HH does get the thirst, so there they go. 1v1 situation. HH gets the lead, but gets shut down. S2G end up on top. The last finish for them. The battle between S2G and Ghost, and S2G getting the last laugh on that one.
Uzi versus UMP. Whoa, Jukes. Whoa.
Whoa.
Hey,
your boy.
How you doing?
Zoomed in, dude. What's up, everybody?
Hey,
How
what's
you
going
doing,
on
huh?
out there? How's it going, guys? We're
let's
back.
Go.
What a game, though. What a game. Wow. Next Rio, though. We got to respect it. They got the... Stop looking at me like that. They got the position really early on, and they held it down for a good amount of time. Solid defense. I can't stop looking at you. Where are the highlights at, man?
Hey, you know why? You know why, bro? Because I got that 1+9 Pro, baby.
Oh,
that's what it is.
that's
They
why.
wanted to see.
That's
You
why.
wanted to see that in high def position, dude. Let's go, baby. Let's go. What a way to finish off this last Super Weekend, dude. When anyone ever says, you know, that we do it big, you're darn right we do. You're darn right we do.
Oh, what a game. Yeah, what I was trying to say before, you know, you caught me off guard with that beautiful camera angle. Next Rhea, really liked their ability to hold down that Death Shack in that little garage for a good amount of time with all the different teams that tried crashing onto it, right? Another team that I kind of lost track of there because of all the action, Baluk. What happened to Baluk? I totally forgot. Baluk?
I mean, they just got taken out. I think they gave it a try. They got some decent points, but then eventually just getting shut down. Unfortunate for them. Hopefully we'll see them figure out a way to bounce back and possibly make it into this next and last Super Weekend coming up, because they did their best. They got some decent points, but was it enough? That is going to be the question we're going to find out. Still some beautiful plays here on this last match. Alpha 7, I just love their aggression. They just, when they know that they have to push, they don't hesitate. They full send it, all 4 people, and that's what happened to Baluk, right? Baluk was holding that angle,
Yeah.
Alpha 7 came on up, and they just got him done and dusted so quickly.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see a change in the dynamic of the lobby next Super Weekend, because the goal here is top 16. And at this point, there's a couple teams at the very top that honestly just have a ton of points. So even if they get early finishes, like they get taken out with the 0 points, they're not going to be sweating. They're not going to be sweating at all. So I'm really interested to see how this next Super Weekend pans out for these teams who are going to be struggling big time to just qualify in that 16th, that 15th, that 14th position on the overall leaderboards. And hey, Jukes, you're back. Anything else you want to add to this? Hot Jukes, 5-head.
I mean, what can I say, dude? What a beautiful day. I mean, we had the introduction of the Mustache Dave momentum meter. And Dave, who has the most momentum going into league play?
I think you, man. I think you. I mean, we saw the camera angle before. You were nothing but momentum all day long.
Let's go.
So hopefully Baluk can qualify again. And personally, there's a part of me that is kind of rooting for Team Queso, rooting for X-Set as well. I want to see them in the final Super Weekend. So that's going to be it for us, for the casting. Let's see what the cast got to say about that game.
Thanks, Jukes 5-head. Thanks, Dave. Okay, well, that again was a really interesting game. For a bit there, I was kind of confused, right? I was just like, whoa, we're not on Sanhok. That was Erangel, and we ended up seeing Ghost and S2G fighting again. It felt like, you know, just a reminder of the past.
Oh, I'm back. Okay, I was at a loss at words, but I was just saying. It was S2G versus Ghost Gaming, and I was saying HH, he doesn't win these. And it's nothing against HH, but it's literally because on Sanhok, they have 4v4'd so many times, and Ghost has lost so many times, and S2G, like you said, blast to the past. I thought S2G was going to win that, and indeed they did. But Ghost Gaming, MVP award goes to Spec Glitter.
I mean, we did see that even though they lost, they had 11 elims. Spec is responsible for 6 of those elims and almost 900 damage, with 43% of that team contribution coming from Spec. I mean, that is a massive performance. And, you know, we were even talking about it when we were watching that final 1v1. I was like, you know, who do you think's going to take it? And you even pointed out, like, if Spec lost, because Spec was having such a solid game, then it was going to be real hard for Ghost to clean that up there at the end. But a performance from both teams that we were looking for, right? We wanted to see Ghost step up. We wanted to see S2G bounce back a little bit. And that's exactly what happens as we're looking at the head-to-head here between Spec and Timber.
Yeah, Timber there with Spec. I mean, not surprised whatsoever with the amount of damage they were able to pick up in the eliminations. Team contribution all the same, except for the fact that it was S2G that ended up being able to go on ahead and take that win there. Zute, you had something?
Yeah, I think this is a great way to end for both teams, right? Both Ghost Gaming and S2G had really strong week ones week 2, they both kind of really, I mean, S2G especially, they falter a lot, but we always talk about that momentum on the last game going into the next week. And this is where Ghost Gaming and both S2G kind of were like, yo, we're still good, we're still around, we're just, you know, messing around a little bit, but we're picking up that momentum, right, that Dave keeps talking about into the next week.
It was nice to see them being able to kind of duke it out in a little bit of a different setting as well. I have to say, again, a really interesting zone for our last match today, ending just to the side of crates on Erangel. It's just making me more and more excited coming up for this, of course, this next league play. So that's kind of where I want to go on ahead and shift it next, right? Because this next league play, we were kind of already speculating that it's going to be crazy, right? But what kind of crazy things can we actually expect going into this? Oh, while taking a look at these rankings, Zute.
Yeah, so this is just the Super Weekend rankings for this week. I think we'll get a better idea of the craziness that might happen once they show the overalls. But yes, there will be targeting. I would not be surprised, because if you could stop a certain team from the 3rd Super Weekend, that literally determines potentially your top 16 spot before the Super Weekend even happens, right, Glitter? It's like, we've seen it happen before. It could very well happen next week.
1,000,000%. I mean, the 3rd Super Weekend is going to be make or break for a lot of these squads, as we're taking a look here at the second page to see where the rest of these teams shook out. And this is just for this Super Weekend. We'll check in with the overall in just a second here. S2G with that final performance does move up a little bit here on the rankings, while everybody else that was right above them drops down just a little bit. But generally, not too big of a shift for what we've seen from this individual Super Weekend. I really am excited for the final one, because there are the teams at the top that are set, right? They could fully not compete in the 3rd Super Weekend, like the teams of 1st and 2nd and 3rd, and they'd still be good. But the teams that are either sitting out this weekend or sat out the 1st weekend, if they get in, watching them is what's going to be the most exciting as we look at the overall rankings that I was just talking about. A7, the first and only squad to break that 300-point mark so far.
Yeah, congrats to A7. They maintain a 1st place, and I think A7, this is a pride thing for them, because they've won 1st place at like almost every step of the tournament leading up to here. So even though this is league, and the Super Weekends don't really determine the grand, prize pool until we get into the finals, I'm sure A7 would still like to say, hey, we also got 1st place in the 3 Super Weekends. But onto the second page. This is where we want to hover for a little bit. So, Besiktas beating out 4 other teams with 2 Super Weekends with just their 1. So congrats to them. But top 16 is where we want to look at in terms of points. And you can see 117 for Supermassive Blaze, 114, 98, 84. It's getting pretty close. And if Besiktas could hit 166 in 1 week, who's not to say Xset and Queso can't do the same, right? Ooh. So in a way, there's still a chance for those 2 teams. And wow, the Elam rankings, Glitter, that's spicy.
You are trying to start some trouble. I like that thought process, dude. We'll have to see what Queso and Xset can do in the 3rd week of league play. But Mythic, right there at the top with 56 Elams, but tied, okay, with Xenox. Coops only 4 behind that, and we saw that in the last graphics from earlier. We also saw Chico up there for, I think it was for assists in this last match. The Knights players have consistently put themselves in top spots the entire Super Weekend.
They really have, and that's why I'm not surprised to see them stopping up here at the very top. They've definitely improved, definitely taking notes. They didn't want to be in that 6th place on Super Weekend overall from the last one. This time, definitely kind of feeling it out, gonna jump up a ton, getting in towards those top 3. Not surprised, of course, to see that being very consistent. And it looks like our week 2 leader, specifically Coops, coming in with the 50 eliminations, the 9,340 damage, but it's actually enjoyed. Besiktas going on ahead and actually grabbing that average survive time. I feel like this makes sense to me, Zute.
So I think this goes to show Besiktas' consistency. Like Glitter mentioned constantly, they're constantly finishing in at least single-digit placements, right? So that survival time over all of those games add up, and so of course it's Besiktas player with the highest survival time. But Coops, stepping it up. We still got 1 week left. I'm really excited to see what happens week 3. I think all the teams have been growing and creating their own storyline, so to say, in the past 2 weeks. And it kind of boils down to this third week, and then we're off to the finals.
I also want to point out for one last thing is, I was kind of wondering who's going to catch up or be closer to going ahead and to S2G in terms of winner chicken dinners, and they actually were the ones that went on ahead and got it. So they at this point have 6 chicken dinners for the Super Weekends. 3 teams that are the next closest, Alpha 7, the Knights, and Futbolis, each with 3, and then Besiktas got 2 of them. I just feel like I had to go on ahead and point out all of that because I think those are pretty impressive chicken dinners to go on ahead and point out. And actually, people watching can go on ahead and get your own chicken dinners as well, because there is a very exciting PMGC community tournament with Game TV. It's open to everyone, so please go register to play and get PMGC tokens and potentially Google Play cards as well. So that is a great place to kind of end that conversation, start talking about again the league play stuff that we wanted to kind of build up on a little bit more. Zute, this league play, you kind of already started expanding on it. Like, there's the chance that people are going to kind of pick and choose who's going to go on ahead and qualify. Is there any teams that you specifically would potentially be able to call out right now that you're expecting to do that?
Oh, I don't think it's just one team I need to call out. I think it's all the teams in that point range from, like, I believe it was like around the low hundreds down to the lower 90s. Like, it's like 4 different teams, 4 to 5 teams. They all gotta watch out because just one game can leap one team up way above the other, and then all of a sudden another team becomes the prime target or the prime focus, right? And then Queso and Xset as well, they got nothing to lose at this point. So in a way, if they want one super weekend to catch up to everyone else, they got to make sure the lowest ranked team on that 16th place spot don't get into that super weekend with them. So that is very scary to think about. But that 16th place spot, right, is going to constantly change game after game. So there's a lot going on in this next week league that I'm really excited for. And Glitter, do you have any input with that? It's like, it's crazy what's about to happen.
She was for something.
Mad Bulls. Yeah. They should be terrified. Mad Bulls should be very, very scared because now at this point, outside of XN Queso, who literally haven't qualified at all, and I think Baluk Chaptan. Those are the only 2 teams that have less than triple digits right now when it comes to points for Super Weekend. So if Xset or Queso do make it through, then that's the threshold they're going to be looking at to try to beat. So taking out Mad Bulls, taking out Baluk Chaptan during the league play is going to be massive, because if they can prevent them from making their way through, but then also ensure their own passage to the final Super Weekend, then they at least have a goal to be aiming for and continue climbing up from there.
Well, luckily we don't have too long to wait. Of course, don't have any matches tomorrow, but they will be starting on Tuesday for our official 3rd week of the PUBG Mobile Global Championship 2021 West League. But this is it for today. That is the 2nd Super Weekend completely finished. We have 1 week left to go on ahead and complete before getting to those finals. So that was it for today, y'all. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you guys next time.